Yes, welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It is episode 32 of the Spurs review. Utter negligence from Tottenham Hotspur. And the more I look at the word negligence, the more I have to keep double checking that I've spelt it right. It just never looks like I've spelt it right, even though I have. Guys, we have got Dan. Dan is here. Well, we've got two dads. We've got Dan from the Hotspur Hood. We've got the Dan list as well. We've got Benji, Top Doc. Look who it is. We've got Jose. Oh, sorry, Jose. We've got Jose, not Jose. It's Jose. We've got Jose. We've got Lubo, everybody's favourite Levy outer. And you've got me as well. And I've perked up a little bit after my stream earlier where I kind of felt like I was done with Tottenham. But we're back. We're back. I'm going to start, guys. Just quickly, I have got the number 91 on the screen for a reason. The answer is not the last time Spurs won the FA Cup. What is the significance of the number 91? Anyone?
21,000 subs.
U91, what milestone are U91 subscribers short on?
21.
Nope.
20.9.
How many times a day you check Twitter to see if anything's going on with Spurs?
No. Anyone? Anyone else?
21k.
91.
21k.
What?
You're 91 away from 21k?
No, it's nothing to do with me. Tottenham. It's to do with Tottenham. Nothing to do with me. Right,
91.
I'll tell you. 91 is the number of GA.
Signings.
Is the number of GA that Tottenham have lost from last season. 91 between Solanke, Maddison, Son, and Kulusevski. 91. I just thought it was a very interesting stat. I watched Alistair Gold's show yesterday. I watched it today, but he did it yesterday. And I thought it was a very good show. And he talks about this number. He talks about 91 goals missing. And he talks about Spurs haven't replaced it in any way, shape or form. Guys, let's start. Dan, I'll start with the Dan list. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, big up Savva, big up panel, big up chat. I hope everyone's good tonight. Looking forward to the show. Yeah, Savva, what can we say? 91. Hey, I didn't know it was that bad. I really didn't. Look,
91. 91. So my question to you, Dan, my question to you is this. We are in the middle of a transfer window, or we're actually coming to the end of the transfer window in the next 3 weeks. It's 21 days from midnight, right? 21 days from midnight tonight. We are 91 goals down. Now, Solanke's going to be back at some point, but again, he's not had a pre-season, so I'm not expecting a lot. Just like last year, he's not had a pre-season. What are we doing, Dan? Let's start with the basic question. What are we doing? Why are we not addressing the goals and assists that this club has lost?
I have no idea other than what Frank came out and said the other day. He turned around and says that he doesn't want to buy anyone. He wants to buy the right player. And, you know, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Our forward line, attacking midfield, number of positions is a massive, massive worry going into this season. And like you said, Savva, negligence. I mean, what are we doing here? Where are the goals and assists coming from? The season starts on Wednesday against PSG, a chance to win a trophy. And we're not ready. Frank doesn't seem fussed. Nobody at the club really seems fussed. Maybe we'll get an attacking midfielder in. They're taking their time. It's just the same old story at the club, I'm afraid, guys. And I don't know what's going to happen, honestly. I think it's going to be a massive struggle getting goals and assists. Yes, Frank will improve the side over time, throughout the season. But you can't just magic up these goals. You can't suddenly turn Tell, Wilson into top players. It's going to take time. We brought Kudus in on the right, which is fantastic. Solanke's coming back from injury. Can't rely on Richarlison. Kulusevski's out. Maddison's out for the season. And unless this club, give Frank at least 2 more players in that attacking area, once that window's shut, it's just going to be a big old struggle next season, isn't it, guys? We've got to be honest here. And I just think it's just shocking, isn't it? Like, it's the same old at Tottenham Hotspur. Nothing has changed. Levy comes out and says what he says. And it's just lies, loads of lies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind who goes with this, by the way, guys. You know me, I don't like to go around the room. I don't like to be that polite, if I'm brutally honest. Look, it is a concern. I mean, I just want to pick up on a point Dan made there. He's saying that Frank doesn't seem bothered. I mean, anyone else? I mean, I'm not sure what you meant by that. Actually, Dan, could you? What do you mean by that?
Frank he's saying, well, no, he says he's happy to wait. Like, wait for what? The season starts Wednesday. We got a final. You know, surely he should be pushing the board to go and get him a couple of attacking players, right? He knows what he's working with. He's been there a little while now. You know, waiting. What are we waiting for?
How do you know he's not done that? He's not going to tell us, is he?
No, we don't. But at the moment, we ain't got anyone, have we?
No,
and we don't look close to either.
Sure. I mean, anybody else? I mean, is Frank bothered? I mean, has Frank actually said anything wrong or right in the press conferences? I think he's starting to look a little bit frustrated, if I'm honest. Anyone?
He's not going to say... Sorry, go on, Dan.
That's right. Go on, mate.
I'm sure there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Whether we get... I'm sure we'll bring players in. Whether they are of the calibre that we need remains to be seen. Because we have wasted so much money on so many players over the last few years that you tend to, I mean, I'm just very despondent, to be honest, about the whole thing. You know, I got in late today. I watched from 65 minutes for the Palace-Liverpool game. You know, Palace have got a better strike force than we have.
Oh, it's
different class.
Mad.
Different class. So, and I don't see, you know, at the end of the day, you don't win games without goals. So unless we change things quickly, I see Palace finishing above us this season again.
Yeah. Anyone else? I mean, Palace's strike force. I mean, we're talking about a team that finished in the bottom half with us last year, right? Palace. This is worrying, isn't it? This is worrying.
I mean, there's a couple of questions you can ask on this, and this is just being devil's advocate, by the way. Yeah. And I know we're not in the same position, but Liverpool did it last year. Didn't go and get no one for their new manager or whatever. A lot of people said that he hadn't been backed. What's he doing? Everything else. I know Liverpool in a total different position, yeah. But Liverpool went and done it last year. What has he actually been told to do by Levy? We don't know. I personally think he's been brought in as the manager to play with the cards he's got and get the best out of it as such, which a few of us have said we think he's got the capability of doing a lot better than what Ange did. And does the manager actually want to sit there and say, right, I want to see what I can do for this season to see what I can get the best out of these certain players this season, and then to see who I really can improve and who I couldn't improve and where I need to go next season. Usually with Levy, a lot of that wouldn't make sense, and definitely with the fans it don't, because we want it all yesterday. But has he actually been given a certain amount of time by Levy? Like, okay, I can see it all went tits up last year and everything and all that, but I'm going to give you at least 2 seasons. This one, we will see who you can improve, because you're meant to be a manager who can improve players, or at least get them back to standards, because you're a much better coach than what we had. You got different tactics and everything else. And then go on it from the following season. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate with those questions.
Anyone?
What about the 91 though? The 91. How's Frank gonna? What's he gonna do about that 91? Goals and assists.
I don't think he was quite expecting, like the rest of us, find out that Maddison was going to go out for 7 months. Basically, he's definitely got to be fighting for someone to go in there, I think. But I'm just talking about the thing as a whole, as such. I don't know what's gone on behind the lines. It all makes more sense that Levy's just being Levy at the end of the day. But they were just questions to be devil's advocate, by the way.
We should have had someone in place, shouldn't we, to replay, just in case of injury for Maddison. Nobody expected Maddison to try and play every single game this season. Where's his backup? Where's his competition?
The difference is with that.
Kulu's out long term, as far as we know. Donnelly's gone off on loan. There are no 10s. I would have kept Donnelly until we brought in a replacement. I think that's that. Whether Donnelly's good enough or not, you've got to have someone there. We've got no 10s at all. And if he can't get one pass over the line, we don't have a 10 until Kulu's fit. I mean, it's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles.
I mean, with the lack of movement in the transfer market, if we were a band, we would be called the Great Pretenders, right? With Frank, he worries me a little bit. Now, I'm the sort of fan, and I'm not sure if you guys do the same thing. I watch every press conference, every interview. I'm that tragic. Frank seems very robotic to me. He seems incredibly, almost scripted in some of the things he says. That worries me a little bit. But to allude to something Dan said, I do have that slight worry that Levy's brought Frank in because not only his ability to coach, but the fact that he operates on a budget shoestring. However, I will just say this. If we can all see that there are serious issues, then surely a multi-million-pound club can see it as well. This is the only hope I have of something big happening in the next week or so. I mean, it has to, right? At this state and at this stage, considering we've got a final coming up. When is that, by the way? Next week?
Wednesday. No, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
As you've all said, we're not ready for that. You've not done a damn thing to put us in a better position to win that. I mean, look, I know a lot of you don't really care about that. For me, if you go ahead and you win this cup, I think that does wonders for the club. I think it does wonders for the confidence moving forward. And like you've alluded to, we haven't done anything. And I just don't know where we're going from here. So,
well, you say about winning the cup do us wonders, yeah? Is it really going to do us wonders?
I think so, yeah.
What's the Europa Cup done for us then, except get us in the Champions League?
No, it's very true.
Which is a big thing. But what has it actually done for us as a club? We haven't gone out of our way to spend anything. If anything, we've treated it like we didn't get into the Champions League and we had no money to spend.
Of course. Oh, look, the Europa Cup should have pushed us to spend more and get a more attractive team together. I feel like this cup would be more for the players, more of a G up for for the start of the season. So I think it's. I mean, it's not like be all and end all, is it? But I think it would be a good thing to go out and win. And these PSG players, I'd imagine they're incredibly tired. They played the World Cup. Nope, that's not right. The World Club Cup.
World Club Cup.
Thank you very much. They've just come off the back of that a few weeks ago. I'd imagine there is a chance. And if we just got a team together, brought in some more talent, some more attacking talent.
Benji, I love you so much, but I genuinely listen. We've got a section about PSG.
Right.
We have got a section about PSG. Let me bring in Jose.
I'm going to say I've been away for a few weeks and I've only just got back. So I've been watching, looking around, and everyone's losing their mind and marbles. And something you always say, Savva, show me the evidence. I'll give you the evidence. The evidence is 50 transfer windows and 25 years. That's the evidence. Whoever thought anything different, I need to ask you if you thought anything different. Why are you thinking differently to what the evidence points to us? What makes you think differently? Now, there was chat about a month, 5 weeks ago. There was chat that Tottenham were being sold in part, in full. Naming rights were coming in. Cash injection by ENIC was there. We are going to turn around and we are going to smash the market. We're going to spend boomba types of money. I've been away, got back. Apart from the players that we signed pre-me going away, Kudos was signed. That's it. I don't know why there's people out there that still think that we're going to go out and do something totally against the grain when the evidence all points to the way that we are. The only time we've ever spent big money, right, and I'm talking big money and bought in loads of players, was when we sold Gareth Bale. When we sold Gareth Bale, with that money, we used it to bring in 6 or 7 players, right? That was a big window. That was where we did something different once. When we sold Harry Kane, what did we do with the money? At the end of the day, I can't see why, and I don't know where people get it from. People have got this notion, and it could well be that people just want, and I don't disagree that people don't want the best for our club, because we want to see our club successful. We want to see our club do well. And you could have people think, well, now that we've won the Europa League, maybe we will turn around and maybe we will go out and do something totally different. But the evidence is there to show you that we are not doing anything different. And just going to say with the PSG game, I know you're going to touch on it later, we played against Bayern Munich and got thumped 4-0. Bayern Munich went out of the Club World Cup 1 week before PSG, right? And Bayern Munich have only just come back into their pre-season, and they looked fitter and a much better side than what we did last week. PSG, you can give them 5 months off. They'll come back and they'll still look as toasty and as cozy as what they did last season.
Let me just offer something there. I think the reason why I thought it might be, by the way, when I say I thought it might be different, I don't ever go into a transfer window going, we're signing 5 worldies. Like, don't get me wrong. I never think that. And I never asked for the worldies. Like when people go, oh, your expectations. My expectations is players like Morgan Gibbs-White, Jack Grealish, Harvey Elliott. Like, I've never once gone crazy with like, oh, Rodrigo and all these people. But surely the fact, Jose, that they've had a clean sweep. Everyone at the club went.
Not everyone.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Everyone at the club went other than Lang, right? Directors have gone. All the coaches have gone. The manager's gone, right? They've brought in, they've gone and spent, 18 million was it? All in all, 17, 18 million to sack Ange, bring in a coach and all of his staff. You've got Charrington and Vinay that are new to the club now as well. You've got new medical people. You've got new this, new that. Surely you're thinking, well, they must have done that for a reason. Why would you do all that if you're not going to do anything different as a football club? Surely there's got to be that part to some fans as to the thinking. I'm just offering it as a theory.
The thing with, can I just say, I did a show this morning and I asked the question. The question was, what does Johan Lang offer? Was the first question I asked. And
sure,
to me, someone put it in the chat. Look, and I'll be honest, right? Everybody in the chat, all 6 of us on screen, if we could play with a spreadsheet, we would do the same job that Johan Langer does. Johan Langer is an introvert. And if you watch him in interviews at Tottenham, on the Tottenham TV, watch him on interviews, he's so scared to talk. He's scared of his own shadow. He's a man that will sit in front of a computer and play with the computer, and he'll come up with, and all the metrics and that to find or look for players. Paratici, though, is an extrovert. He's not an introvert. Paratici's an extrovert. He talks to people. He talks to people, whether it's incomings, outgoings. He talks to people just to keep in the know and keep his nose busy and that. So we've got 2 different players at the club. And unfortunately, we only have one who's a full-time employee and one that's a contractor. And the one that's a full-time employee, I just wonder what he offers. I wondered this, and I said this 2 years ago when we brought him in. I said Aston Villa never stood in his way. They never put him on gardening leave. They let him come to us. And Scott Munn, who I always used to think, what does Scott Munn do? Well, Scott Munn spent 2 years getting his wage and did nothing. And for me, Langer does nothing either. And that's what I'm going to say.
On the bit where you say we do nothing different, well, we did. And we went and bought Kudos and then put the money on the table to buy Morgan Gibbs-White. And he had a, where he had to come at us and do a medical and everything else. But that just went tits up. That's the fact. But the fact is, we did actually do things different. We went bang, bang, we'll have them 2 straight away. And if it would have gone right with Morgan Gibbs-White, he would have been at Spurs. It's just the fact that only Spurs could screw something like that up. And we did. So the fact is, we have actually done things different. It's just when it happened like that, we was thinking, right, it now gives that bit of hope of we have done something different. It wasn't that we got Kudos and that we was looking at Morgan Gibbs-White. It was we got Kudos and we got Morgan Gibbs-White basically on the plate. It's just that one, it fell through because of whatever little reasons and big reasons, this and that.
So we didn't get him then, though, did we? At the end of
that's
the day,
not the point I'm making. No, but the point is we did it different, and that's a fact. We don't ever do it like that.
But it's not a fact, is it? It's not a fact because it didn't happen.
But we did it different. But we did it different. That's what I'm saying. The fact it fell through, only Spurs could screw that up.
No, sorry. If we were doing it different, that deal would have fallen through for Morgan Gibbs-White, and the very same week we would have had the next one on the list through the door. If we were doing it different, that would have happened. We've not done anything at the moment.
If we would have done it our usual way, we wouldn't have done it back to back within a day. I mean, the fact that it didn't happen is the fact that it didn't happen, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But when do we ever usually go back to back and literally day after the other day? We don't ever do it. And we did do it. And the thing is, it fell through. So it makes it irrelevant at the end of the day. But that is what I think give a lot of people hope. That's the point I'm actually getting to. Because it did look like we did do something very different to what... Tell me the last time we went and done that with 2 players over 50 million.
Yeah, but we still haven't done that.
No,
because it fell through.
No,
sure.
what
So why didn't we then, Dan? So why didn't we? The moment that falls through, right? Imagine that was Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine right now. Imagine tomorrow you get the news from Romano or Ornstein that Xavi Simons, the deal has fallen through with Chelsea. Does Chelsea just walk away and not do anything for a month? I bet you they don't. I bet you they go out the very next week and they go, this is the backup option that we had to Xavi Simons. So
that is what we should be doing.
Like,
yeah, that is what we should be doing. But what actually gave you the hope? What actually gave you that bit of hope all of a sudden?
You're right.
And that's the point I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Like
we never do it like that.
It's almost a red herring.
Exactly. But the fact on it is it fell through. But the other fact of it is we did do it. And we don't usually ever do that. And if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think most of us would be sitting here as frustrated as we are. We'd still be sitting here with the frustration of it's just normal old Spurs, this and that. But the fact that we did something very different, that's what gave a lot of people hope, don't you think? That's the point I'm making.
I agree.
We tried to do it different. It just it went tits up. And that gave you hope, that gave me hope. I can say others it most probably did. So the fact that we did try and do something different, you was expecting, okay, we were still waiting for it to go through with Morgan Gibbs-White. It didn't. Okay, it didn't. You'd have already thought we got something else done by now if we was working that way. Whereas now it just looks like we're just being Spurs again. They gave us hope by actually doing it different.
But if just the worry that I've got, well, it's a worry. It's not really a worry. I can't say it's a worry. I think the worry many people have. I'm not worried because it's just Tottenham. It's what we do. But if we've supposedly bid 70 million for Guehi in January, there's 70 million pound there. If we supposedly Morgan Gibbs-White 60 million. If we supposedly put in a bid for Zabani, which they're saying that we did as well. If we're supposedly, where's the evidence? All this money's being talked about. If the money is there, then why aren't we going out and getting players? And that's my concern. Instead of all the chat.
That's the question. The money's there. The funds are there.
And if the Morgan Gibbs-White one didn't happen, then why did their owner go into complete meltdown? If it never happened and it was just BS, that would have never happened. So it did happen.
But what I'm saying, Dan, is I'm talking about the money. If you've laid 60 for Gibbs-White, 70 back in January for Guehi, supposedly we've put a bid in for Zabani before he's going to choose PSG. If we're doing all this, that means there must be money around. There's got to be money around. So if there is money around, why haven't we pulled the trigger on players coming in? Because obviously we cannot, as a fan base, we don't run the club, but as a fan base, we are all thinking that we are very light this season and that we need better players and we need more players in order to, one, I'm not even going to say compete. I'm just going to say not to look like idiots in the league, because we'll end up finishing below 10th again if we go in the way we are now. Now, I will say last season, I did turn around and say that I felt there were 5 players like last season. And then I said, when we've qualified for the Champions League, 5 players like last season, Champions League to come, were even lighter. When I saw that squad that was put down on paper going out to Asia for the 2 games, I thought to myself, Jose, you weren't half right last year. This squad is shockingly poor.
Did you give yourself a little... Well done, Jose. Well done.
I was saying this last year, and people were saying to me, no. What it is that they don't get coached properly. It's not about being coached properly or not, because the team is just not good enough. Everyone has elevated, and although they were above us like that, they've now gone even further away from us. Everybody's elevating their squads, and we were lagging last year. we're lagging even further this year. I just
But
don't wanna
last year, that was a better team than 17th, Jose, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. Yeah, it was better than
So it
17th.
was down to the coaching.
Yeah, it was better than 17th, but I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have that squad last season being a top 10 squad. And I know that I got questioned last year. So who would you think? And I said, there's players from Brentford I'd have. There's players from Palace. I started naming players from other clubs. And people were saying, well, that's not fair. You've got to name one team. Well, there's 16 other teams that finished higher than us last year.
I agree and disagree with you, Jose. I'm going to bring the guys in the top row in 1 second, but I agree and I disagree. I think it's not one thing. When you're saying it's not that they need coaching, this group of players need coaching massively. You can see in 2 years, I say 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years, we've not been coached. You could see last year we couldn't defend for Toffee last year. We could not defend. Teams were coming and having a field day against our, I would say, back four, but it was a back two. You know, fullbacks inverting every game. But look, I don't want to look backwards. I want to ask the question. I'm going to start with Dan Ellis. Simple question. Dan, are we weaker as it sits today, the 10th of August? We don't know what will be on the 31st. As it sits today, are we weaker than last year, Dan?
In the forward line, yes. Of course we are. Son's gone. Kulusevski's out. Maddison's injured for the season. 100% weaker. And this is why I'm worried that Frank is saying he's happy to wait. He's happy to wait for the right player and to work with what he's got. He accepted Tell, didn't he? He accepted him. He thinks he can get more out of Tell.
I keep hearing this. I keep hearing he's accepted him. But
he praises him, Savva. He praises him. He says, talented player. You know, he can go far.
Hang on. I've got to query this. Sorry, Dan. I've got to query this. The fans not understand. When a manager is asked about a player, what is it we think he's going to do? Do we think any manager's going to come out and go, yeah, I'm not a fan? Like, no, he's not good enough.
No,
yeah, I need
that,
better.
But he's not.
You know,
but Savva, he's not. As it stands right now, it looks like he's happy to work with Wilson and Tell as a left winger. He hasn't said, look, we need another left winger, has he? We all the fan base know we need another left winger. Right?
He's not told us, Dan. He's not told us. This is the problem. But this is the thing.
Savva, he's not speaking up enough. He's not speaking up enough, Savva. He can't be happy with that forward line.
Know?
Huh?
How do you know he's not speaking?
We don't know, but nothing's going on. Nothing is happening. All we hear from the club is an attacking midfielder and a centre-back. And we all know we need more. We need more.
I agree, but if you watch Alistair Gold's video yesterday, Alistair, do you know what? I like watching Alistair Gold. Not all of his stuff, but this show is really good. He talks about how Frank's stance has slowly but surely changed in the first month. That at first he was saying, you know, I'm happy with Odebergs and Tells and that, and his answers are softening up in terms of when he's asked about wingers, and he thinks that he wants a winger. Alistair Gold was saying he thinks he wants another left winger now. Problem you've got is, as fans, do we truly expect that the manager isn't this the problem we had with Ange, that he talked too much in the press and he said so many things that we were all going, I don't know, mate, you've changed your mind a million times this week alone. Frank, for me, gives the professional answer every time. He gives the answer that he's not going to tell you his transfer plans, is he? He's not going to tell you, like when they go, are there any signings imminent? He's not going to turn around and go, yeah, have a look on Sky Sports News tomorrow at midday. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not going to answer like that, is he? So are we shifting the blame immediately to Frank when?
Well, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Do you feel that Frank can get more out of those players than we realise?
I think he can get a lot more.
I think
those attacking players, Dan, particularly those attacking players. Tell Wilson
not enough to get us where we need to be.
Well, this is
I agree with that bit. But I think he can get more out of the players and the team.
But Benji, where do we need to, when you say not to be where we need to be, where do we need to be?
Hard challenging for European spots, Europa League at the very least. Do you not feel?
No, I'm just asking. I'd say. I mean, ideally, you'd want to be Champions League, wouldn't you? You'd want to be fighting for that top four like we used to do. But I think at the very least, with Frank, you want Europa League, don't you? Really, that's where I'd be aiming for if I was him. But we shall see.
No, that makes sense. And with what you said, Dan, I think he can I mean, even though we got done, we got cooked by Munich. I think the difference was in that one. It was what I spoke about with you just before the game, Sav. I spoke about you and Ian. To you and Ian, there's a difference between getting beaten in a game because you can just blatantly see your tactics were just so shockingly poor that you got caught out on the flanks and up with your defenders up the top, same way as you do every game. Or when you can see that a lot of people got things right and it was actually just we got beaten by the better team. I mean, none of their goals were poor as such either, were they? Yeah, okay, one was definitely down to a mistake from Porro, but it didn't look as, oh, here we go again, same Spurs, down the left, down the right, no one's in the middle. We got done by the better team. Simple as that, as far as I'm concerned in that game. But each will have their opinions to it. I think he's going to get a significantly more stability out the back, get the players back to their standards at least. There was only 2 players in that team that you can tell me progressed in any means or manner under Ange, and that was Bergvall, and that was his first season. And you can say Johnson did in the amount of goals he scored. Not one other player progressed in that team, in my opinion. And if there was another, do tell me. I think he can at least get them back to his standards. And if at least gets the players back to their standards, we're taking steps forward. But with everyone else buying players at the minute, it's only going to keep us coming backwards a little bit in that aspect because we're still trying to get our players back to standards. But I think he can significantly improve that team just by the tactics and everything and get it working together again. It already looks like our back line has more organisation about it. It already looks like the midfield has more organisation about it. We're just lost up front now because we haven't necessarily got people who can bang it in the net, and we definitely don't have a playmaker. But even that, I feel he's going to be able to get something out of them. But how much he can get out of them, I don't know. But the rest of the team, I think we're going to see a lot more stability. It's up front that's going to be our problem this year. Last year, the problem was defence, and that was purely because of tactics.
Benji, Lubo, are we weaker than last season? As it stands, going into this, are we weaker than last season?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I wonder what odds the bookies will give you for a 0-0 draw on Saturday with Burnley. We can't score, they don't concede. Has it got 0-0 written all over it? I'll tell you something, I'll take 0-0 at City Saturday week. I mean, it's just, there are funds there. There's obviously the money that wasn't spent on Gibbs White. We just got 20 million, around 20 million for Sonny. I'm sure there's other money as well.
13 for Højbjerg.
No, that was the money for Højbjerg went towards Danso. They were both 2 loans, 1 in, 1 out. Jose. So for me, I don't know what they're waiting for. Just get on with it. Just get some players in. Otherwise, we are going to have a very, very long season. And, you know, with this squad, seriously, do we honestly think we're going to finish top half? Not a chance. Where are the goals coming from?
Yeah, Benji. Listen, we talk about it a lot, but as I said at the beginning of the show, 91 GA is a lot. Now, granted, Solanke will come back, but even then, I can't see who's going to create for him. I can't see, you know, I can see happening again that he's going to come looking for the ball because we don't have a playmaker to get the ball to him. Are you concerned? Are you comfortable with the forwards we've got? What's going on?
God, no. I'm just as concerned as the rest of you. Our position right now isn't exactly a favourable one, is it? Really? Look, right now we've still got a few weeks left in the transfer market. Obviously, as we speak, things aren't looking great, and you know that GA is very concerning. However, like I said, we've got a couple of weeks left in the transfer market, and I'm just hoping that come closing time, we've got a bit more to speak about when it comes to firepower at Tottenham Hotspurs. But yeah, I shadow the rest of you. I'm just as concerned, mate.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you guys. I mean, when you look at it, right, there are lots of people that will say, you know, the transfer window's not shut, there's still time to go. But isn't it a real sad indictment that we're meant to be looking that way? We're meant to be looking that way. And by the way, I don't think we're going to finish 17th, by the way, guys. Like, I don't think some people are talking about relegation. I think he's too good a manager to let us be that low. What I do worry about, though, is where the goals are coming from. is it absolute contempt and is it utter neglect that we are 3 days out and we're going into these games with front threes? I'm not going to, Kudus has just joined. We're going in with the other night was Sarr in the 10, Richarlison in the 9, and Johnson in the 11. I mean, that is utterly garbage, isn't it? Like, let's be brutally honest, guys. I wouldn't even expect Wolves and Fulham and those clubs. I wouldn't expect them to have a forward line as bad as Tottenham's. That's a real sad indictment, isn't it?
Bang average.
Feel free to disagree.
Bang average. It is. Well, let's be real here. Other than Kudos, the rest of them I don't rate. Yes, Frank, over time, maybe can improve them as players. Some of them are young, but come on. Like, we compare our forward line to the top teams in the league, and we're so far off it in that area. And we're just hoping that Frank can overachieve, really, with that set of players now. Even with bringing in an attacking midfielder, which we needed anyway to cover Maddison, you know, we needed more. And it's just the club are not being serious enough. They're not. It's the same old at Tottenham.
By the way, thanks to one of the viewers who has just texted me, 0-0 is 14-1 with the bookies for Saturday. That is a great bet.
But do you know that most bookies have Tottenham finishing 10th or below in the league this year?
I'm sure.
Yeah, most of the bookies have got us finishing in the bottom 10 this year.
Yeah,
When was the last time Tottenham were ever in the odds? And I don't often get it wrong, bookies, but when was the last time? I don't recall Tottenham ever being in at odds of being finishing 10th or lower in the league. I don't recall it.
I don't either.
But the thing is, the bookies can see, like we can see.
Yeah.
You know, that they can see what we can see, that we've lost all our goals. So like when I'm seeing people in the chat, and it's always the same people. I'm seeing people in the chat going, oh, you said when Frank comes in, we'll go up the table. Yeah, we will. We'll go up the table. But I also didn't think when Thomas Frank came in that we were going to lose 91 GA and not replace it. Do you know what I mean? You would have thought, new manager coming in, they've gone and paid that money to get him, guys. You would have think, right, what do we need to give this manager? At least 4 first-team starters, minimum. Surely, so that it can start to be his team. Nope. Surely we would have known that Sonny was going. And even if it wasn't 100%, they'd have it in the back of their minds, right? They'd have it in the back of their minds. Sonny said the other day that he'd been talking it through this decision for months and months. So he's known, which means the club would have known, right? Yeah. So there's no excuse there that we've not had anyone to come in and replace Son. By the way, different conversation, by the way. People keep saying to me, oh, you wanted Son gone. Well, yeah, I don't think he's at that level anymore. That's a different conversation to have we replaced him. As Lubo said, you only had Maddison as a playmaker. But by the way, Maddison, who came back fit last week, he only came back fit last week. So the club knew we were going into a season with a playmaker that hadn't played, hadn't had a pre-season. We did nothing there. We know that Richie, we all know, I think we all know by now, Richie is absolutely shocking. I wouldn't wish Richarlison on any other Premier League club. There you go. I'll say that right now. I wouldn't wish him up front on any of those clubs. Right?
I would. I want someone to take him.
Yeah, but you get my point. I don't think any of those, right. And then in the other area you go, okay, Kudus, good. Like Kudus, good. But it's the planning. There's no planning. Chelsea, look what Maresca came out and said. Because he can say it because he knows Chelsea are a big club. They interviewed him. Sorry for the rant. They interviewed him, didn't they, after the game against Bayer Leverkusen on Friday? They said, oh, you know, Colwell's got an ACL. Yeah, absolutely imperative we replace him. And you're like, wow. And you know what? He can say that because he knows he'll go to his chairman and go, I need a centre half. What does their chairman do? Go on then. Who are we having? Who's on the list? Who do you want? Frank can't come out and say that. Because if Frank comes out and says it, we all go, oh, there we go, we're definitely getting one. And he won't know that we are. My whole point to all of that is we're not prepared. We're not prepared anywhere. Anywhere on the pitch, we have not prepared for players leaving. We're always reactive, not proactive. With Kane going, it took us a year to sign another striker. A year.
We ain't even done the bare minimum.
No.
We are weaker than last season. Weaker. Sorry, guys. I'm so frustrated. I am So
Up
frustrating.
front, we
Don't you laugh
definitely
at me
are.
in the middle down there, Jose Hotel Cockerel. Don't you laugh at me. I'm upset over here, all right, mate?
Yeah, but like I said
I
to you
think-
earlier, and like I said to everyone earlier, the evidence, you say evidence, the evidence
I
has
know.
been there for 50 transfer windows,
I know.
25 years. Lubo knows the score. We have been absolutely dire in the transfer market, and I don't understand. I really don't understand.
Jose, we
what
have to
people-
express how we feel, mate.
I
Come
know,
on,
I
mate. This is
understand
why
that.
we're doing this. You know,
That's-
we
Dan.
want to. We speak about it. We want to moan. We want to complain. We
I
want to
know.
demand more from the club, and we
Yeah,
will
and
continue to do so.
And I do as well, Dan. But the thing is, all I'm saying, I'm not talking about people here, by the way. I'm just talking in general. What I've seen whilst I've been away is people blowing up about something that I'm thinking to myself, what on God's earth gave you any idea that we were going to do anything different?
Because
I'm
we
with all
finished
you guys.
17th. We finished 17th and we're going in the Champions League. Surely that must have. Okay, I'll tell you what. So, look, the club clearly see it, Jose, right? They clearly see it, hence why they sacked the previous manager. They see it, not good enough. You would think at the same way, they go, right, we can't ever have that again. Right, what are we going to do? How do we ensure that doesn't happen again? Oh, no, let's go and have a really good transfer window. Nope.
But you said everything else, Savva, that goes with it. It's not just the transfer window. It's the replacement of they've replaced X, Y, Z, B, A, D, F. They've done all that, yet the most fundamental part, yeah, great, you've done all that. But the most fundamental part that we're missing at the moment is these players that make our team a better team. And I'm just wondering, why change? And I'm with you. I totally agree with what you said earlier. Why change absolutely everything in the background, right? But then the pawns, the people that have to do the business for you, the players, why aren't you not getting players in? It's just madness.
I think the club already had it planned in the. I mean, whether again, personal opinion, whether we like to accept this or not, we did replace Son, and that's with Tel. Do I agree that that's what should have been done? No, I don't. But that's what I personally think the club has gone and done. The fact that we brought in two players that walk into that first team is something a lot of people were saying that you would rather that we buy quality instead of quantity. And I was one who said that I've seen it run down that far. Just give me 2 quality signings every transfer window instead of 5, just signings for the sake of it on in that aspect. And so we've got 2 players that walk into that first team. It's just the thing that's really done us is what's happened with Maddison. If this wouldn't have happened with Maddison, I don't think we'd be quite so panicky as such.
Oh, I bloody would.
But we would still be sitting there saying we want more. But it's the thing that's happened with Maddison that's done us good and proper. Because we've at least had 2 players come in who walk into it for a change.
But hang on, Dan.
We need more.
Like Jose just said there, this is Tottenham fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we went and bought Eze right now, right? Let's just the name Eze. Let's say we go and buy Eze now. People will lose their mind. Wow, fantastic transfer window. All he'd be doing is actually replacing a player we've lost in Maddison. We haven't actually, to Jose's point earlier in the show, we haven't actually added to the squad. At the moment, if we go and buy somebody to replace Son and we replace Maddison, we are backfilling. We're not actually upscaling. We are just filling blanks. Yeah? Now, slightly different with Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, they had to replace Jota, rest in peace. And I know that was obviously awful. And they had to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Right? But look what they've done. Andy Robertson, getting on a bit. Been there a little while. Let's freshen up. We get Kirkes. Robertson still at the club. Yeah? You know they're going to get Guehi. Let's be brutally honest. You know Liverpool in this last 3 weeks are going to sign Mark Guehi, right? Another centre-back is going to be put in there, right? They haven't lost a centre-back, but another centre-back's got to Kwanzaa if you want to go for a young player, right? Florian Wirtz. Soboslai's still there, but they bought Florian Wirtz. You know, Ekatike's there. They're still trying to get Isak. They're adding players to the squad. We're just talking about backfilling. This is the huge concern for me. We're talking about a 10, buying a number 10 and a centre half. Brilliant. We all know Van der Romero are going to be the starting centre back. So we're talking about buying another centre half as a squad player and the number 10 who we're buying because James Maddison's got injured. Is that the sum of our transfer window? Is that it? Is that what Tottenham Hotspur, as one of the richest clubs on planet Earth, in the Champions League, this is what we've come to? Sorry,
essentially, Tottenham. Well, the way I look at Spurs, right? Essentially, we are with the stadium, with the training complex, and everything else that goes with it. We are a Ferrari with a Fiat Punto engine, being the football team. Right? Are we not? It's embarrassingly bad. Look, listen. If we don't pull our fingers out, and you are so right, Sav, we are literally backfilling. I couldn't have said that better myself. We're not even progressing with our signings. We are trying to fill spaces.
You mentioned real estate. You mentioned property. Training ground, football ground. It's property.
Well, it's the shell of the club, isn't it? I suppose.
It's property. We're not buying top players, are we? We're building we're putting together top buildings. That's it.
I'm saying from the exterior, the outside looking in.
90 million's been pulled out of the club to go on property in the last year.
But that's where I'm getting the Fiat Punto engine from. And again, we're all on the same level here, all of us.
We are a property company with a bit of entertainment thrown in and football at the bottom of the list. Let's be honest about it. Let's tell it straight.
Oh, you're
That's
right.
all we are. Sav's talking about Liverpool and the way they go about their business. That's a proper football club.
So then what is it then, Lubo?
Skywalks and an F1 racetrack.
Lubo, not just Liverpool. Look how much shit our fans.
Wow.
Look how much shit our fans are going, oh, but look at Newcastle's window. All right, let's look at Newcastle's window, shall we? So far, they haven't lost anyone, right? So far, what they've actually done, if you think about it, is they've added centre-back depth with Thiaw, who signed today, right? And they've added a brand new right winger with Alanga.
And Ramsdale.
At the moment,
Ramsdale.
Right, and Ramsdale. So at the moment, they haven't actually lost anyone, and they've added 3 squad players. I say 3 squad, but I don't know who's going to be their 11, but they've added 3 players to it. And we're all going, oh, look at Newcastle, their window. Newcastle are in talks with Wissa. They've just got Thiaw. They've bought Alanga. Like, how are they doing that? Nottingham Forest today bid for someone else. I don't know if you guys saw that. Nottingham Forest have bid for the Monaco defender today. Can never get his name right.
Diakite?
No, Diakite is the one that went to Bournemouth, didn't he?
Not Akliouche, is it?
No. They bid for a defender. Akliouche is a forward. But my point is, guys, all of these clubs are now doing it. Villa haven't lost anyone. Is that your dog, Lubo? Yeah, good. Okay, cool. All right, Villa haven't lost anyone. Announced last week, not Calamundo. They've announced Guisand. So when you look at it, all of the clubs I would put in and around there, the top 4 and then the rest, we're the only ones not doing anything.
And last year, and the season before, and the season before, and the season before. We are playing catch up, but we're not playing catch up from last season. We're playing catch up from time. And it's a fact.
We're not playing catch up, are we, Jose? We're not.
Well, but anything we're doing is catching up. Yeah. We're catching up. We're chasing our tail from years and years ago, and we're not getting ahead. We're not getting ahead of the curve, if that makes sense. We're behind the curve. It's not even that. You look at Man United. Man United have gone and spent over £200 million. Man United haven't even got Europe next season. Yeah, they're a big club. Don't get me wrong, they are a big club, but they've gone out and they've bought players. They've improved their squad, if you like, their first team, or however you look at it. There's other teams that are doing it. We are well behind, but again, I will say, it's not got to me as much as other people, because evidence shows me that this is what we do. The only way that I'll be shocked is if any of this so-called other stuff in the background that supposedly should have happened or is happening, if that then does happen, I'll then be shocked. But for now, it is what it is. I asked a question. We play PSG on Wednesday and we start with Burnley on Saturday. And I asked a question on my show this morning to the guy out on the panel. I said, how many players do you think will sign by Wednesday? Or how many players do you think will sign by Saturday? Just a yes or no, a number, not like who we're going to get in. And the person turned around and said 0 by Wednesday and 0 by Saturday. Why would that be? Because we're Tottenham Hotspur.
Mm-hmm. And why would Man U go and do what they did? Because they're Man United, only the biggest club in the world, or second biggest. I said to everybody, this cup is irrelevant to them. As all it is to them is just another nice little trophy in the cabinet. I mean, to us, it meant the world to us because we haven't won anything in so long, and it got us out of that season. Man U didn't need that. Man U are still Man U at the end of the day. They, like I said, they are the biggest team in the planet. I said the cup's irrelevant to them, and they win it or lose it, they will still claw that way back up there and get signings. Whether they work or not is different, but we'll still go out there and make signings. Winning that cup really was pretty much irrelevant to them. But with us, it was our scapegoat, basically, and we haven't used it to our advantage. And I agree. I don't think we're going to see no signings until pretty much the end of the transfer window. But then, like you said, Jose, are you surprised? Do we ever do it any different way? The only thing that's made us look that way is that we tried to do it a different way. And that's what gave people a bit of hope. And do I think we'll have another player or two in by the end of the season? Yeah, I do. Would I prefer that it gets done properly and we do it at the start of the transfer window and everything? Of course I would, but we don't. By the end of it, I'm just going to be happy if we get the players in because it's Spurs. It's the way we work. We ain't going to change it no matter what way we're going to do it. Sometimes it just is what it is. And it should be different, but it's not. And it never is with Spurs.
To me,
Dan, do you know the ironic thing is? Radcliffe claimed poverty for Manchester United. And the ironic thing is the team that won the Cup, the Europa League, have spent less than half of what they have already in this transfer window.
Yeah. Man U poverty, innit? Biggest club in the world, poverty.
Can I do some super chats and then we'll come back to this, guys. Just quickly before we do, everyone in the chat, listen, if you ask me a question, I know it's normally the Ange fans. If you ask me a question, you only have to ask it once. You don't have to keep spamming your comment. I can see them. Right? There's one guy asking me the same question about GA for when Ange joins. GA for when I can see it. I'm not blind. I can see the chat. Don't have to spam. Also, please, there are 1,450 people inside the building. 1,450, which is amazing, but not even 400 likes. That means 1,050 of you have not smashed the like button. Guys, we should be at 700-800 likes. Please do. Please subscribe to my guests as well. Hotspur Hood, the Danalist, Jose, El Del Dockerel. Please subscribe to the Spurs 5 as well. And please follow Benji on Tot Doc on X. Let me get some super chats in. I'll go through these very, very quickly. And big up to Blaine Dev, who said, so my thoughts, what does Lang do? Going to Lang next, I promise. All the supposed data analysis when Dan could, no offense, identify 10 players per position in a week to look at. Surely these profiles were done months ago. We're going to talk about this, Blaine Dev. I'm going to come back to this comment. We're going to talk about this in a minute. Big up to Pure Coys. Big up, Nige. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much. Thank you to Marcus, who has become a YouTube member. Big up to you. Look out for the members only show, which will be probably Friday. We did it Friday this week, so last week, so probably Friday this week. So big up to you, Marcus. Thank you very much. Big up to Blaine. You are far too generous. Has given away 5 memberships to people as well. Big up to Blaine. This was about 45 minutes ago, though, so I'm not going to go back and try and find out who they went to. I'm sure those people have all said thank you. Big up to you, Blaine. You're very generous. Thank you very much. Emma Morton, as always, she's always here, always putting in the super stickers. Big up, Emma. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Big up to Faz. I said this window is Levy's last chance. Enough is enough. But it's not. Faz, as fans, we can say these comments, but it's not. We say this every window. This is the last chance. It's not. Until they sell the club, he'll have as many chances as he wants. So, unfortunately, I get it. I get the sentiment, but it's not that simple when you own something that's worth £4 billion. Big up to you. Thank you very much for that, Faz. Big up to Winston Lawrence, who said we needed 3 players before Maddison got injured. Why are we taking so long to get attacking players? Get Grealish and Eze pronto. This is so frustrating. Winston, absolutely. I think everyone's now talking about replacing Maddison. What about the signings we needed before Maddison got injured? You know, we need loads. We need a lot because we are going to struggle big time. Big up to you, Winston. Big up to Costas Karavatas. Big up to you, my man. I said, stadium profits. Where's the football ambition? if you put in things like this, you're just going to get Lubo on one of his massive tangents. Absolutely. Spot on. Where is the football ambition? I'll tell you, there isn't any. We do just enough, don't we? Always just enough. Even in the year where we're god-awful, we get a get-out-jail-free card by winning the Europa League. You know, we always come out smelling like roses in some way, don't we? Big up to you. Thank you very much. Big up to Kobe. Thank you very much. Very generous. Said Levy having such a low ball wage bill compared to revenue shows that he only values the team as an item on a spreadsheet and not as something that deserves more investment than is absolutely necessary. Look, I'm finding it hard to argue with that. It is the way it's looking, Kobe. We've got very low turnover to revenue. Turnover to wages. Wages to turnover is what I was trying to say. We've got money there that we've all talked about. What are they waiting for? You're right. Can't disagree with you. Big up to you. Big up to Tony. Very generous, Tony. Thank you very much. Said this squad wouldn't make top 4 in Serie A. No, this squad would not make top 4 in Serie A. I don't think it will make top 4 in any of the major leagues. I think it's very, very lightweight right now. Big up to you, Tony. Big up to Ellie, Queen Ellie. She's dropped the Madison. Have you dropped the Madison? Said, I feel for Frank. He's employed by failures and he succeeded at keeping Brentford up on a shoestring budget. He's never had 55k spent on any player. So he's probably a bit humbled. 55k sounds like Levy's dream. 55 million. Yeah, I get what you mean. Look, I agree. He's set up for failure. He's completely set up for failure right now, but it is what it is. Big up to Alex Smith. Said, does Levy know you're in the Champions League? I genuinely don't know that he does know we're in the Champions League because it looks really poor at the moment. It really does. Big up to you. And big up to Daniel Field with the super sticker. Thank you very much, Daniel. I appreciate you. And big up to Phil Coys with a super sticker as well. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate both of you. Guys, just going to quickly check the likes, and we did manage to get it to 500, so we got 100 more. So thanks, guys. Blame Dev's super chat. Guys and girls, Johan Lang. As much as we all blame Levy, Johan Lang, since this guy has come into the football club, what is it he's done? What is it he's scouting?
So
Is
can
he
I
any
just throw
good?
this? So can I throw this out there because it's something I'm really unaware
Go
of.
for it.
Where is Fabio Paratici? Because to my knowledge, did he not have Johan Lang's position previously before Lang came in?
No, he was further up. He was further up. Gabbiadini had Langer's role, and Gabbiadini was managed by Paratici. Paratici had the role on the board as a footballing director, so they changed the job title when he left, and they made Scott Munn was put on the director's board, but they changed the job title for Scott Munn. But Paratici was always higher than Langer.
I was going to say because to my knowledge, the way Paratici used to do business is he would target 10 players at a time, some to throw people off the scent, and some we genuinely wanted to go for. It just feels to me like this Johan Lang seems to be very one track, sort of, tunnel visioned, one player per time. Is Paratici even at the club anymore? What's even going on with that, man? Does anyone know? Because I feel like if he was with us right now, we'd be doing a lot more business because under him, he made some, I think he made some fantastic signings for us. And he was on the phone constantly. You could see him working day in, day out. The guy was absolutely involved in everything. He was brilliant. So my quick question is, my aside is, where is Paratici? Is he part of the club anymore or no?
He's a consultant at the moment, Benji. He's a consultant at the club. He's not a full-time employee yet. He was offered a role with AC Milan just before his ban was ended in June. He's now a free agent. He can come back into the footballing world. He's got a couple of things going on in Italy, court cases, nothing that will get him into trouble footballing-wise. But I think he's got to deal with. He wants to deal with these couple of issues before he takes his next step. Levy has approached him and wants him. Levy and Vinay do want him back at the club, but at the moment, I suppose, and I'm only guessing at this, because the fact that he hasn't signed yet and he hasn't come back yet as a full-time employee means Langer's got a job. That's what my thoughts are.
It's believable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by the way,
Jose?
Just quickly, just seeing there's a few reporters tonight are talking about Elliot saying that Spurs have apparently biggest word in football, right? Biggest word in football. Apparently, Frank has spoken to Elliot. I don't know. No, I'm just going to put it out there. But
who said
anyway,
that, Savva? Who said that?
so
what
Sebastian Vidal and Sasha Tavalieri. So I don't, mate. I don't know. For me, it makes sense. But anyway, sorry. Back to Lang and Paratici and yada yada yada.
So yeah, so to me, like I said what I had to say earlier. I mean, I had a chat about this already. For me, as I said, Langer, anyone in the chat who can use a computer, any of us on the screen that can use a computer, as long as we're good with Excel and we can read spreadsheets, then we can all pick a player. It's like playing Football Manager, isn't it? Football Manager, you get all the stats for players, you get the player's name, you get the value, and then we'll all play Football Manager. We'll all play Championship Manager. That's basically, to me, what Langer does, unless someone shows me any different. He just looks at a whole ream of numbers, and then all you're doing is selecting parts that you want things to be good at, and from there he selects a player. But Paratici does it totally differently. Paratici does it on the eye test. He goes by absolutely everything. But one's an introvert and one's an extrovert, and that's the way I explained it earlier. And for me, who would I rather have? Well, said it since the minute that he got banned. For me, Paratici at the club all day long.
But we're meant to have been doing that for a long time, though, aren't we? Like basically going through the data side more than the eye side of what a couple of shows do. So, I mean, I can't remember what one it was. Top of my head, I can't remember what one it was, but I watched it about Spurs, and it basically did say that they've been doing the data side for a long time. I think a lot of teams have been doing it for longer than people might realise. But then there's also a lot of others that I still think do both. And it's all good looking at the data and everything. I get that. But then for me, you've got to go out and look at the player and the quality of the player. And can the player actually adapt to the way you wanted to play at your team? I don't think stats can necessarily tell that. I think only the eye can tell that side of it. I think you need to do both as such. I think stats and dats are very, very good to have. Like, it's always good to see the picture of where the man's hotted all over the pitch, basically. Where's he spent most of his time? What does he do? Stuff like that is very useful. But then for me, you've got to use the eye as well. I think they've got to be both as important as each other.
And that's what Paratici and Gabardini did. They
Exactly,
used both.
yeah.
But the thing about Paratici, and this is what I'm saying, is that Paratici is a great communicator. He can communicate with people that he's after. He can communicate with people that he's selling. He communicates just to be in the know, to see how everyone is. So he's got his eyes open on the whole market. Johan Lang, to me, doesn't do any of that. To me, he's introverted and he just sits behind the PC. That's what I see personally. What I see, I think he does. I don't work.
I agree.
But that's what I think he does. And to me, I think that we need someone proactive. And apart from being proactive, I mean, I don't know how the panel think, but when we had Paratici before, as a full-time employee, not as a consultant, I felt that he had Levy's ear. I felt that Levy left them alone to do the footballing side more so than anybody else at the club, because it seems to be that Levy still does get involved on the footballing side with other people, with Langer and everyone else. I don't know whether the reports are true or not, but they are saying, or there has been reports lately to say that Levy's pissed off with Langer not having the ability to shift players on from the club, and that he's now passed that part of the exercise over to Paratici to see whether Paratici can shift players. And there's 4 players that were named and mentioned, and it was Hill, Bissouma, Richarlison, and there was a 4th player, and it escapes me, but there's 4 players named in the report, and that they said that Solomon was the 4th one, and that the fact that Langer can't do anything, hasn't got the contacts, and he can't do it, that they're passing that to see whether Paratici can get that done for us. That shows you the level of man that we've got in Langer.
Well, the bigger question is, so Dan, alluding to what you said earlier, data-driven analytics is supposed to be the new and modern way to do scouting these days.
They've been doing it for ages.
Yeah, of course. And it's Brighton's mould of doing things. And they've done very, very well. But my question is, and I think all of our question would be...
Doing it before then, mate.
Why? Well, of course. But, Brighton have done pretty well.
Oh, right, I got you. Sorry. I got you.
My question would be is, who is solely responsible for not being able to at least keep up with the way Brighton do things? It doesn't make sense that with this whole data analytics stuff, why are we not able to bring in the correct players? I mean, you know, when we got Tell, for instance, what was seen there? Because if you ask me, I think Tell is a terrible player. And if we go into the season with him as our left wing, we are banging trouble. So the question remains, who's responsible?
Not just that, Ben. It's the transfer strategy, the plan. What was the plan? Doesn't look like there is a plan. We're very reactive rather than proactive. This is the big worry with Lang. We don't seem to have a clear plan and know what the club wants. You know, young, old, I don't know. I don't understand it.
I think Paratici sort of reminds me of a woman. And what I mean by that is he can do more than one thing and probably about 6 things at the same time. Yeah,
fair play.
Whereas Lang is just he's worse than your average fellow who struggles to do one thing at the same time. And that's just trying to keep it on a comical side. But I don't think no one's going to argue with that description either. And go on, Savva.
I was going to say, I think something that Dan just said there, absolutely spot on. When you're talking about what's the strategy, like I'm going to use an example from the last 48 hours. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that all of this happened in 48 hours. I'm just giving an example, right? In the last 48 hours, we know that Newcastle upped their bid for Malik Thiaw, right, of Milan, got to Milan's asking price, got agreements with the players' personal terms, got him over to the UK, and he's having a medical tomorrow, right? Here we go, done. Today, already, AC Milan have just had the here we go for Cody De Vinter, who we were linked with from Genoa. Now, the point I'm getting at, that's how a football club runs. Do you know what I mean? They would have known for the last week or so that Thiaw is on his way out. So what have they been doing in the background? Where's the replacement? Right, we want De Winter. Bang, done. There's no lag. There's no time delay. There's no, he only got injured a week ago. He only left a week ago. Boom, 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 boom. It's AC Milan. This is a club without loads of money. This is a club that are wheeling and dealing this window. Right? But that's how a top club runs. And Daniel, to your point, what's the strategy there? What's the strategy? The moment Son leaves, it should be, boom, Spurs have put in a bid for this player. Nope. When did we hear the Son news? When was the actual Son news to LA? What, 12 days ago? You're on mute, Dan. You're on mute, Dan.
Sorry, Son deal was already done, as far as I'm concerned. Whether I like it or not ain't the point.
Yeah, but my point is these clubs are replacing these players, right?
Mm.
We're buying young players for the future.
But if but what like Dan says, right? If Sonny told the club at the end of last season or just before the end of last season that he was out, right? He was leaving because just before the final or just after the final, I saw reports saying that Son was leaving, but he was contracted to be with Tottenham for the game in South Korea against Newcastle. Yep. And the minute that finished, he cuts ties and he was going to leave. And this happened just after the cup final. So basically, what we should have done, Son's going, he's told us he's going, you then look for your player then. Not now, 12 days ago. You look for your player then.
Jose, there is no succession plan at all. There wasn't a proper succession plan for Kane, and there hasn't been for Son. And they've been our best two players for many years. And
with Kane, when Ange took over, Kane had a conversation with Ange and with the club and told them at the start of Ange's tenure, I'm going. I'm leaving. So we waited towards the end of that transfer window, some 2 months later, and let him go on the last day, right? But we didn't do any, all right, we know that Harry's going, let's line up the next one in. We didn't do that. It took a year. The problem is, as like I said, the evidence is there, chaps. The evidence is there. And at the end of the day, whether people like it or not, the evidence is there. And things have drastically got to change at the club. And the only way, something major has to happen at the club in order for us to change the way that we operate. And it's not getting rid of Langer. That's not the issue. Langer ain't the issue for everything. There's people within the club that are the issue. And unless these things change, we're going to get the same transfer windows and we're going to get the same that we've had for the last 24, 25 years.
The issue is...
Stop spamming. Stop spamming. I will block you. Stop spamming and stop putting everything in capitals. If I have to explain to you why we're weaker, right? We haven't replaced Son, Maddison, Kulusevski, and Solanke's goals and assists. If you can't work that one out for yourself, I don't know what to tell you. Surely this is not rocket science. This is not rocket science. We've lost all our goals and creativity. Please.
When it comes to Son, now just looking at it from a technical point of view, we'd already done the job well before we lost Son. We went and got Tel. Whether it was the right one to do it or not, I think all of us agree it wasn't. But in that aspect, I think the club had already had it done and dusted well before Son went. It just ain't the right one to do. It's going back to last season, and I think Ian brings up the point on this most of the time, of the fact that, yeah, we did go and buy young players because we got players out, but we didn't go and get players for now as such. Like, even you admitted to an extent, I'll give you, that Archie Gray weren't necessarily for now. We should have had someone with the capability to walk in now as such, and him be the learner as such.
Absolutely.
Whereas it just didn't seem to work like that. And it seems like that's exactly what we're doing again. Now, if we brought in Tel as, say, to be the learner for someone else that we bring in who's already 27, established, whatever else and that, again, I think a few of us would take it a bit easier for it. It's just, I think most of us know that Tel is the replacement for Son. And if you want to be technical on a job, they already had that done and dusted.
Yeah, but Dan, no one said it.
Totally
They ain't said it, mate,
decision.
have they? Dan, they ain't said it, have they? No one's going to come out and say it. He's the replacement.
No, but technically, I'm talking, yeah. I'm not talking about what's wrong, right, and whatever. We all know that this is just totally wrong. Yeah. But I personally think the club has gone and bought Tel and done it in advance as the replacement for Son, hoping that they can get him up to, I don't know, whatever standards they think he's capable of. I haven't seen much of him to deal with that. But I do think we actually replaced Son well before he left. It's just I don't think any of us agree with it was the right bloody one to go and get. We should have at least got someone in who would be established in that team, knew what they were doing, had experience, because we need players for now, not 2-3 years later. But with the Son thing on the technical side, I think we already had the job done way before he went. It's just I don't think it was the right way to do it, the right person.
Does anyone at this club realise we're in the Champions League, guys? Does anybody at this club realise we're in the Champions League next season, facing some fantastic teams? What are we supposed to do with that forward line? What are we going to do in it?
Dan, just touching on what you said. Can you imagine Liverpool replacing Luis Diaz with Matthias Tel?
They wouldn't do it.
No. But can you imagine Spurs doing it?
It's just staggering. It's mind blowing.
It's absolutely ridiculous on what we paid for him as well. It is no different to what we basically went and did with Archie Gray.
Oh, different. Listen, I've got to tell you, Gray showed more in one game and one cameo than Tel has since he joined.
Listen, do you know what? I could give you that one.
It wouldn't be difficult, would it?
Tonight. I'm not talking.
I just agreed with him. I just agreed with him. So it was conversation over. So don't worry about it. I agreed.
It's mind blowing what we are doing in the transfer market, and you look at the players that Ange bought from the time he actually set foot in the club, and from the day his contract was running, which was July the 1st, 2023. He bought 18 players and Werner on loan twice. Call that 20. Of those 20, only 4, of which 3 came in the first window, which was Mickey, Madders, and where are we now? Solanke. Johnson came in. Those 3. Solanke. Sorry?
Vicario.
No, that was before. Perisic did all that before.
Yeah, but he's still hang on. He's still given a first.
I'm talking about the money that was set aside for Ange for him, that where he signed off, and he brought in 18 players plus Werner twice. Only 4 out of those 18 were bought for the first team, and Bergvall pushed himself in as a 5th last season. All the others, there were kids. Mm-hmm. And I think that is where Lang possibly has his skill sets. But in terms of the big picture, he's out of his depth. And
when Ange took over at Spurs, Ian, sorry to interrupt you there a sec, mate. Just to put on, I just want to go on point you said. When Ange walked in at Spurs, How many new players were given to him that walked into that first team?
3.
Whether they were bought and loaned out the season before, whatever else, or we got them because we already had them pre-planned, whatever else. How many players did he get that went into that first team?
About 6 or 7.
In total, yes. For that actual transfer
Exactly.
window, Vicario,
for that first transfer window, that's probably the best transfer window we've had. If you want to look at that,
Brennan Johnson,
in a
James
long
Maddison,
time.
Mickey van der Ven, Pedro Porro, Dejan Kulusevski. Radja Dragosin came in January. Guillermo Vicario came in as well.
But in that first window, Jose, it's probably the best window we've had in a long time, because we actually had at least 4 or 5 players that walked into that first team. Whether they were to the quality or standard we wanted isn't the point I'm making. Maybe it just showed the standard of the team was that bad, whatever way you want to say it. But when Ange took over, compared to Conte, he had at least 5 players that went bang, 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 and walked straight into that first team. What have we just had? He's had 2 players. And he's lost players. Yeah. Exactly. So in that aspect, you can say in that first window, not every window after, I agree with that, but in that first window, he got backed. He got at least 5 players that walked into that first team. At the moment, Frank has 2.
The thing is, as well, when we look at that window,
Frank has 0 in terms of established players from where he started, because he's lost 2.
Well, yeah, but he's still got 2. Like, it's, I hear him. If you go back to that summer when Ange first, again, this isn't about Ange, by the way. I'm not knocking Ange or anything. We're just using that time period. You know, he came into Pedro Porro, who had just been signed at the club, right? He'd just been signed, the last day of January, played, I don't know how many games at the back end of that season.
Yeah, he was on loan for that season, but then the following season, when Ange came, we actually signed him permanently.
Right. So Pedro Porro, straight away, he's got a brand new right back. Destiny Udogie, who we had bought, had just come back from Udinese, left back. Mickey van der Ven, centre half. Vicario, goalkeeper. James Maddison, playmaker. Brennan Johnson, the guy he wanted, right? When you look at that,
Kulusevski got signed then as well.
Yeah. Kulusevski was made permanent in that window as well. But the point is, straight away we went, we all said this 11 is much better than the 11 from last season, right? In that year, that 11 was much better than the 11 that ended under Conte,
and Mason
and Stellini, right? Yes, we lost Kane, but what we said was we lost Kane, but we added everywhere. Goalkeepers, defenders, central midfielders, attacker. We added everywhere. Now you look at this window and you're thinking, right, okay, another new manager's coming in. Surely you're going to give that manager the same gratuity. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Surely you're going to give him that same opportunity. Surely you go, okay, right, we're not good enough. We need to bring in 5 or 6 immediately. And he's been given 2. One of them's on loan. And it's not a problem, him being on loan. But again, it's not addressed anything. Lubo, I keep using what you said. We've got rid of an 11 and signed a 7. So we swapped a left winger for a right winger. And we've lost playmakers and added a DM. And it's like, at the moment, we're net like that. In terms of squad depth, we're the same, right? But in terms of the goals and assists, we are so far down here. And this is why I'm so shocked that people was in the chat going, oh, he's got to finish 5th or 6th. He's got, I genuinely don't know who's looking at this Tottenham Hotspur team and thinking that is challenging for the Champions League places via league qualification. And if we can see it, yeah, they can see it. I think we're going to have to strap in, guys. I think we're all going to have to put our big boy and big girl pants on for the season. This is going to be a tough year. Now, we're not going to lose 22 games. We're not going to finish 17th. But for anyone who thinks that we're keeping up with the Joneses have moved to a different postcode, mate. Yeah, the Joneses don't live anywhere near us anymore. There are people going, oh, we should be near Chelsea. Should we? I watched Chelsea play the other night. Like, the kids they're buying. Like, I watched Esteval on Friday night. Did anyone see that kid play?
Yeah.
Right?
Unreal.
I watched him, and then you watch Tell, and you go, the levels are insane. They're scouting.
Right.
By the way, that's a kid that they bought. That's not even talking about all the first team senior pros that they're buying. There's levels to this, guys. And unfortunately, we're not playing in the same We're not playing in the same game as these other clubs. We're not.
But we could.
Villa,
We could, though,
Newcastle.
Savva. We could. The club could. If they wanted to. If they wanted to get the players in, they could bloody get them in. But they're choosing not to.
Dan, let me give you some background, because what you're saying as a fan is how we all feel.
Yeah.
Let's look at Chelsea. Chelsea have got a recruitment team, a global recruitment team of 4 top people. Now, Bowley has been involved in sport in America. These guys know what's needed. They know how to organise a club, a sporting organisation. They know how to do it. They know
Americans do.
They know how, the Cronkays have done well with Arsenal the last few years, Fenway with Liverpool, and to be fair, the Glazers kept it going until Fergie and David Gill left for the first 7 years that they were there. And since then, they've won more trophies than we have in the last 34 years since Fergie left. So yeah, we can't even compare ourselves there. But these Americans know what they're doing. They know how to layer out an organisation with the top people. They know where to put them and how to get the best players. And look what Chelsea are doing. And then you put that into our club, and you just hope that Vinay can bring some calm and some organisation to the chaos that we've had for 25 years. Because Levy hasn't got a clue. He's not a sporting person. He'll be the first person to admit that. But finally, we got Vinay in, who's had 14 years at Arsenal. So hopefully he will then start to put some building blocks in place. But we're miles behind. We are so far behind. And, when you think of the organisation that Chelsea have got with their recruitment against us, it's like...
So what do? We just accept it, yeah? We just accept it?
No, Dan.
Yeah, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick to death.
No one's saying it.
I'm just sick of it.
Accept it. But let's be realistic, and let's see where we are, and let's see where we are against Chelsea. You mentioned the situation about we should be... Sav mentioned Chelsea. There is a reason why Chelsea get great players from around, pick up great players in transfer windows. Apart from the fact that they got sporting people at the top who want success, who are desperate.
They spend the money.
And
they spend the money for it.
By the way, Tony De Winter turned down Tottenham, according to Fabrizio Romano. He's just said on his podcast that Winter turned down Tottenham, Galatasaray, and Inter Milan to go to AC Milan. So read into that what you will. Sorry, as you were, gentlemen, as you were.
And that's AC Milan, who have no European football as well this year.
Nothing, not even in the conference.
No, AC Milan have got no European football this year.
Okay.
So no pressure on Frank next season then from the fan base, right? Because of no backing, no real backing. Let's just let him get on with it and see how he does.
But the thing is, though, last season, we were all saying, or there's a lot of people saying, we wanted someone to come into the club who would coach and make the players better players and upskill the players that we've got and make them better players. So you got that, you got Frank, right? But at the end of the day, if you're not going to back him, then it ain't Frank's fault, is it? If you're not going to back Frank, then it's not his fault. Frank will do his job with the players that he has at his disposal, and he will do that job. We're not happy with the players he's got at his disposal. We want more. Now, for me, I mean, I don't know whether things have changed, but I thought that when Maddison went out, it's always Tottenham Hotspur, that when Maddison's gone out, we now only have 6 homegrown players. And for a squad, you need to have 8. So we're 2 homegrown players light. So,
or you have to pick less, don't you?
Or
if you ain't including them, you pick 23. Yeah. If you've only got 6, you can only pick 23, innit? Yeah, I'm just making understanding that.
Or you upskill your B list, so your youngsters, and you make them an A-list player, right?
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, if that's the case, that we need 2 more. We need more than 2 players, but at least 2 of them players have to be homegrown players, English players. To me, it stares you in the face. Go out and get yourself pay the money and get yourself Eze, and pay the loan fee and bring in Grealish. Because when you start looking at Tottenham, forget about a striker for now. But if you've got your defence, you've got Bentancur and let's say Paulinho sitting in the middle, and then you've got Eze, Grealish, and Kudos as your three behind your striker, it transforms your first team.
Agreed.
But we need to go and do that. We need to go and get 2 English players, but they can't be 2 players. Oh, they might be good players in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. If you're going to go out and make statements, we want to win the Premier League. We want to win the Champions League. Your manager makes statements. We want players that fit into the club, but they have to hit the ground, and we have to hit the ground running now. Then surely, if you're saying all this, the manager's saying one statement, the owner's saying another statement, then you've surely got to go out and back what you say. Because if you don't, it's going to be even more evidence against you. And
Out of question. Sorry, go on, Jose. No, it's all right. Go on. Finish.
No, finish. Go on, you go.
Just putting it together as such, yeah. Who has Frank actually? Now, obviously, we need more. I get all this, but just asking a question in here: who has he actually lost for that first 11, and who has he actually gained for that first 11? He's lost one out of injury in Maddison, and does anyone say Son was the first 11 for us anymore?
Yes.
Well, he contributed though, Dan. He contributed, didn't he?
I'm not saying he didn't. I asked for that first 11 team. And Son was not a regular starter in that first 11 team anymore. He was already getting busted.
Son was
a starter. When
Son was a starter.
He was the captain.
He was captain.
He was a captain.
Hang on. Yeah. Okay. So, but he weren't fit all the time for that first 11, was he? Really, to carry on as an out and out first 11.
You asked. The question wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Is he
okay?
Fit?
So he's
okay.
Son was
undoubtedly our best left-sided player. Undoubtedly,
he's lost.
Kulu
he's lost 2
and
got
11.
into then basically.
Kulu would have been in the first 11 as well.
Where?
But the problem with that, Dan, yes, he's lost 2 and bought in 2, but the 2 that are bought in don't cover what we've lost. This is the problem.
No, I agree with that. It was just a question.
You know, yeah. No, I get it. I just that for me is the issue. You've bought in a defensive midfielder, which I think people said we needed. Got no problem with that. But the problem is if you can't score goals. Yeah, people are watching these games pre-season going, "Oh, the football's terrible." Who's expecting a forward line of? I mean, look, let me show you. Right, if I show you, this is the team that played the other night. Right, this is the team. Now we can argue about the formation. I don't really want to, but if I share my screen, right, this is what started the other night. Right, this is what started the day before. Sorry, the game before our first proper game of the season. Right. Who is looking at Bentancur, Paulinho, Sarr, Johnson, and Richie and thinking that we're going to play good football? Who is honestly looking at that 5? Paulinho, that's not his game, right? Bentancur, for me, been here too long. If I'm going to be brutally honest, he's not, for me, not a good enough ball playing midfielder. Johnson can't trap a trap a bag of cement, let alone a football. Sarr, he's not got a creative bone in his body. And Richarlison is awful. When you look at that 5 out of the forward 6, and then people go, "Oh my God, the football under Frank." Sorry, who in their right mind is looking at that and thinking, "Yeah, we should be playing Bayern Munich off the park. Yeah, we should be playing really good keep ball football possession and creating." I'm looking at that and going, "There is fuck all there other than Kudos, and teams have already worked us out. Watch the last 3 friendlies. Everyone sticks 2 men on Kudos."
Yep.
Right. They put 2 men on Kudos because they know that if you mark him out of the game, we haven't got anything. They don't double up on Johnson or Richarlison because they know these players aren't good enough. They double up on Kudos, and then people are going, "He's not scored or assisted yet." We at the moment
2 men on him.
He's looking for people to play 1-2s with. You can see it. He looks up. He's trying to play 1-2s. He's got no one there to play with. So. Sorry, I know it's a bit of a rant there, but what are we expecting?
With Kulu, I don't think Kulu really is smart. You lost him in the first 11. You lost him as a team player. Kudos was there to take his place, and Maddison would have got in the number 10 over Kulusevski. So I don't think you can say Kulusevski you've lost as a first team player. You know, I rate him personally, and he's quite versatile. You can use him over the pitch. But if we was going to skill play him on the right or play him in the middle, Maddison would have got that number 10 spot over him with creativity and that. And also on the right-hand side, that is why we got Kudos in there. So I don't think we necessarily lost Kulusevski as a first-team player in that aspect.
You have,
But yeah,
that's
I'll
not true,
take that back.
That's not true.
Would he have started over them two?
Dan, when Kulusevski's fit, every manager plays him.
Would he have started over Maddison and Kudus?
Mate, he would have found a way. I think he would probably have put all three of them in behind Solanke. There's no way he's going to start people like Tell and Odegaard and have Kulusevski on a bench if that was the option. There's no way. Frank's not sitting.
Kulusevski definitely ain't for the left, yeah? Maddison's the better playmaker, and then why the hell did we even bring in Kudus?
But Dan, football is a squad game, right? So whichever way you look at it, Kulusevski is a first-team footballer. He's not a squad player, is he? He's a first-team player at Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay, maybe I look on that different. First team for me is first 11, and then the rest of it is part of the squad, regular subs and that. If you want a regular starter, now, Kulu did not get in there over Maddison as the playmaker because we've all agreed Maddison was the better playmaker, even though Kulusevski could cover it. And if Kulu would have been perfectly fit, would he have got in over Kudus? Otherwise, why would we have bloody got him? And I don't see Frank putting him out on the left. I mean, I'd probably rather play him on the left and tell him that.
I don't know the point. I don't know the point we're trying to make here. Kulusevski is and has always been a first-team starter for Tottenham Hotspur. We can't suddenly start pretending he's a squad player. That guy
But we didn't have Kudus.
But mate, when you play 60 games a season, you need loads of good players, don't you? You can't then just turn around and go, oh,
he's more of a team player now, is what I'm basically saying. I'm talking about the first 11 as such.
I disagree completely. I disagree. I don't
Do
know
you
what
think
we're doing
Kulu would have started over them two?
I think Kulu would have started as well as those two.
Well,
there is not.
You think he'd stuck him on the left?
There is not a chance in hell that Thomas Frank would have Kulu on the bench while people like Odegaard and Brennan Johnson and Tell are playing. There is not a chance. He would get him on the pitch, whether he goes left, whether Maddison floated left, whether they all rotated. He would find a place for Kulusevski in this 11. No doubt in my mind. Kulu is superior to some of those footballers in that team. And
in his
I'm
position,
not even
but he's never played. He's only ever played left once or twice. He's not left player, and
you can rotate Kulu. The beauty is with Maddison can float left. Kudus can play right, left, and centre. Right, but there's no way if you think that if Kulusevski was fit, that he wouldn't have been in that same 11 as.
But in that aspect, you were the one who told me the other day, don't move Kudus from his position because that's his best position. And he's probably our best player there. When I said cross him and Johnson over, because I think he's more versatile to play on the left.
Yeah, because Brennan Johnson's shit. Kulusevski's
not.
But
Brennan Johnson is proven that he can still tap it in at the post. And that looked like our most sustainable goal option. Not good, but you did say don't take Kudus out his best place. So we keep Kudus as the right, Maddison as the 10.
What I'm saying. Listen, you're not
listening.
I'm listening. No,
I am. I'm just saying he's not first 11 anymore. He's squad.
But based on what? Like, where are you making this up from?
I'm not making it up. I'm seeing it as I see it, same as you are.
You're saying Kulusevski is suddenly not a first-team player based
not
on
in the
what?
first. Basically, that we've got Kudus on the right, who I think could do a better job than Kulusevski there, and Maddison was the number 10. Now, if we could get Kulusevski back in the next 3 weeks, again, it wouldn't be such a panic about not having Maddison, but we'd still need a much more creative player there. In that aspect, for me, Kulu's lost his place in the first team, I think.
Do you not think Kulu could play as an 8, though, beside Paulinho?
I think he could. I think he could do
somewhere. That. Jose, this is my point. He would play somewhere.
Kulu's a first-team player.
This is utter. Sorry, Dan. This is utter ridiculous. If we think Kulusevski doesn't get in that 11, this is crazy. I'm not even his biggest fan, but I
haven't said fact once. I've said in my opinion. In that aspect, I don't think he walks into that first 11 as he did as such. And if we did, we'd have to play him totally out of position. But now the fact that we ain't got Maddison, he gets into the number 10 position. But Kulu's out for a significant amount of time as well, isn't it? That's why we ain't got cover for that 10. I mean,
I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know where we're going. We're the only football club in the world that talk about an 11. Like I genuinely don't know. I don't know.
I didn't say he wasn't good enough for the team or the squad. I was just talking about the first 11 itself. Your best pick of players.
No, Dan, I think you've got to have 15 or 16 players.
Exactly.
Oh, totally.
into the 11 that are of a very similar level. And
so it's not such a massive drop down. I was just asking about the starting 11.
But it's not a drop down. Our problem has always been that there has been
a big drop down.
Too big a drop down. But Kulu,
so it is a drop down problem.
Kulu is not a drop down. For me, Kulu's not a drop down to Maddison.
No? What, you'd say he was as good as Maddison as a playmaker?
I think they have different skill sets, but I think as far as if you're talking about playing in the first 11, I think they give you different things.
But this is what I said to people a long time ago when you stick him as attacking midfield central. He's not really a playmaker. He's more the one that you get there and use him as a bit of a target man shadow striker. And as all I was saying is he even a first pick if you could pick your best 11 anymore? I was just asking a question.
No, I think where you're talking about a drop down, Dan, I think you're talking about a Van der Ven to Davis. You know, for me, Danso is part of that first team group now. Because
I totally agree with.
He is of that level. Now, you can only pick 11, but he's not a backup.
Football's not an 11 game now, though, is it? Like, it's not an 11 game. Look at the reason why squad of Liverpool, Chelsea and City, none of these clubs are sitting there talking about an 11. None of them.
They mix and match all the time.
Only Spurs fans that talk about 11.
Dan,
maybe I just see it.
Mate. Dan, sorry, mate, I've just lost it.
I was just asking a question. I was just asking a question of, I think every team knows or manager should know their first 11. Their prime pick. If they had to pick their best players, I'm pretty sure every team knows it. And then who they would have as the subs, yeah? And I get, you got to go over the season. You got to do what Ange didn't do, and that's rotation and everything else. But every manager you expect to know their first 11. I.e., Ange knew who he wanted as his first 11. Did we agree that he picked Udogie over Spence when Spence had 2 quality months? No, we didn't. But the minute Udogie was back, bang, see you later, Spence, he had him straight in.
Why? Right? That was his undoing.
That was a weakness.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but I'm just saying he knew who his first 11 was. I'm not agreeing with it. As all I was asking, it was just a question, nothing more. It weren't a fact.
I just don't understand. I didn't understand what the end of.
I was just asking, is he even in the first? Is he even in the first 11 anymore?
Yeah,
that's all I was asking. Now that Maddison's out, of course he walks in there, but
I think he walks in. I'll be honest. I think he walks in anyway. I think when you look at how poor this squad is, to think that Kulusevski would sit on a bench. By the way, if you go and buy proper players all around, you go and bring in Elliott, you go and bring in Grealish, you go and bring in Eze. Yeah, Kulu's now no longer a shoo-in. But right now, looking at that team, it's a no-brainer. I think he's got to start. He's too good to be sitting on the bench.
Yeah, with Maddison injured, he starts as a 10. But then the question is where we put him on the left. As all I've been talking about is our prime pick of 11 players. I haven't talked about rotation or nothing like that. That is what I think he would be more.
But Dan, let's
Maddison wouldn't have got busted.
Yeah, but let's not forget here, boys and girls. We, there's still plenty of time left in the transfer window. Tottenham are notorious for being slow starters.
Benj, there isn't plenty of time.
There isn't, exactly.
But you know what we're like as the club, boys. We always do the same thing. Most of our business gets done towards the tail end. Right. You know, I think
that doesn't mean there's a lot of time left, Benji. There's 21 days.
That's all.
Final Wednesday.
The problem.
Listen. If we were any sort of big club, we would have been locked and loaded for the final, right? 100%. But all I'm trying to say is this conversation may be just a smidge premature, because there is still 21 days left of that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And a lot can happen in that time. And as we all know, most of our business gets done towards the tail end. So are we panicking a little bit, or are we just expecting more? I know what you're going to say, Sav, but
I'll tell you what, Ben,
you know what we do as a club, mate. You know it's always tail end.
No, but hang on, but Ben, you're conflating two conversations. You're conflating two conversations. Whether we know what we do as a club doesn't change the fact that we're not ready and we're a mess, right? Just because we move late doesn't make it right. Because what we're going to do again is anyone who comes in now, any player who joins this club right now, from this moment onwards, let's be fair, even if we sign somebody tomorrow, you're not going to have them ready for Wednesday, are you? Let's be brutally honest. If we sign a player tomorrow, they've got to do their medical, right? So no one's going to be there for Wednesday, and we're going to have to sign them in the next 48 hours if they're going to be ready for the Premier League, right? Anyone who joins now,
12 o'clock, I think
is going to be behind.
No, but my point is for them to be ready, for them to do a medical, for them to. It's going to be tough, right? For anyone joining now, they're learning on the go. They've had no time to Frank's had no time to work with them. Frank will have had no time to see them in training. They've had no time to learn their teammates and how they play to form partnerships. You watch today, look at Liverpool. Liverpool today, 4 new starters in that 11 for the Charity Shield. Four ready to go. All of their new signings, bish, bash, bosh, all in the 11. Good, let's go. So when you're saying, are we panicking too early? No, because yet again, we're going into a season, Ben, unprepared. Like we are not prepared for anything. We're not prepared up front. We're not prepared in midfield. We're not prepared on the wings. We've lost goals. We've lost assists. We're not prepared for anything.
No, you're right. Look, my point is we never are. So I'm not surprised by any of this. I'm just as angry as you. Make no mistake.
We do exactly what Tottenham do. The evidence shows us that we go bargain basement because we've watched the transfer window so far this year. We've watched this season. We watched the transfer window. People dropping bombs and picking players and picking players. Whereas a player there, he's available. Someone else has gone and got him, and this has been happening all throughout the summer. We haven't stepped in. We haven't done anything. Now, the only saving grace I will say, on the side of what Benji's saying, we've got 3 weeks to go in the transfer window, is that if you bring players in, they wouldn't have had a pre-season with Frank or the team. But the saving grace at the moment, even if you've got a player in at the end of the window, is that we play 1 game a week up until the 20th of September.
Not
so
a saving grace. That's a bad thing.
Well, no, because it means that Frank will have them on the training ground. He's got time to train with players during the week in between games because we haven't got 2 games a week. That's the part I'm looking at because that can help some of the
Isn't
players.
That what pre-season's for? But
yes,
isn't that what pre-season games are for?
It totally is, Savva. But the thing is as well, though, when you're involved in Europe, when Europe starts biting you in the arse and you're playing 2 games a week, you haven't got time to implement, train and stuff like that because you're playing 2 games, 3 games a week. But until then, it means Frank can still get his ideas across and still train with the players. I know it's late to bring the players in, and I don't agree with it. But I'm just saying that, for the first, up until the 20th of September, we won't be playing more than 1 game a week. And there's an international break, or there must be a break, because we don't play from the 30th of August till the 13th of September.
That's correct.
There is, because I'm on holiday during that 12 days. Jose, I picked my holiday right in the international break.
Enjoy your holiday. I'm sure you're going somewhere nice.
and Jose, we played the European game, I think, on the 17th. I think it's the 17th of September. I think 16th or 17th. I think is the first Champions League game. Okay. So he's had no time. Pre-season, he hasn't got anywhere near as much out of pre-season that he should have done. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But
he's had no forwards or creative players to work with for 2 months. For 5 weeks he's been at the club? 6 weeks?
Yeah, 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
5 weeks. He's had no playmaker to play with in any game, and the striker option has been Richarlison. What a waste of a pre-season. Again, what a waste of a pre-season this has been.
This is this club. They just don't know how. They can't get it right. They don't have the people at the top to get it right. It's staring us all in the face. Why I don't think anybody here is denying this. The other clubs are so well set up with the right people in the right positions, and they make ash and blotty of us. We're nowhere. We're just nowhere.
But you've got, again, people talk about the word accountability, and at the end of the day, Scott Munn was at our club for 2 years, did nothing, and he wasn't accountable.
Who put him there? Who put him there?
Levy did, but he wasn't accountable for anything.
Get him started, Jose. Don't you get Lubo started.
He wasn't accountable for nothing. Who bought it? Then Scott Munn bought in his people, Scott Munn didn't say nothing to them because they weren't accountable to Scott Munn. One of them is still at the club now, is Langer, and I'm still beyond me. I'm way beyond. I don't know what Langer does. And at the end of the day, who's he accountable to? Who manages Langer? Because there's a disconnect between Levy and whoever manages Langer.
Well, it must be Vinay now.
Do you think so?
Vinay now, yeah.
It must be.
Well, if he's accountable to Vinay's only been here a short while, but he must see what a shower of shit he is, and that you need to get him out and bring someone in that can do the job properly.
Well, listen, Vinay's had Edu at Arsenal, so he can see the difference between Edu And Lang.
Yeah, Edu was different gravy. Edu was an extrovert again. He's a person who communicates, talks, and gets in with it all. But as I said, I cannot see for the life of me Langer getting involved with anybody at all. You say boot him and he'll probably cry.
I can't see him being in a job this time next month.
No.
I genuinely can't. I think
So bare minimum, boys, before the transfer window shuts, numbers wise, what are we thinking we need here to bring in?
4.
I'll go with that.
I'm
Hang on.
going 4 minimum of 4.
The golden
3 need to
question.
be first team stars, right?
So I
we
would
all
go
know it's
for.
not happening.
No, it's
It
not
might,
gonna happen.
it might, because that's all we got right now, Sav. It's hope, right? So just
But the problem is, Ben, listen, I could talk about my 4 years on YouTube, or I could talk about my 40 odd years of supporting Tottenham Hotspur, right? Either way, every summer we do this. Every summer we sit here. I mean, Dan, remember the conversations me and you were having in videos this time last year? We were saying, go and get Locatelli. People, nah, he's shit. Yeah, something big's going to happen. No, it didn't. We're
Go
doing
and
it
get the
again
fellow
now.
who went to
But
Roma.
Sav, it has to happen. It has
Yeah,
to happen now.
Ben,
It has to.
But when
The
we say it
backlash
has
will be
to,
unreal.
It
as
should.
the fans,
It will be, because now there's no
fact-
excuse. We know the revenue.
But there
Yeah,
hasn't
but
been
Ben,
an excuse before.
as fans, we say it has to happen. But what's the consequences if it doesn't happen?
There isn't.
There isn't, right? There
The only
isn't a consequence.
consequence there is, the only consequence there can be,
We
because
miss out on
nobody
Europe.
will take accountability for anything, is Frank will end up losing his job.
Of course.
But all the managers have lost their jobs.
And that's
Yeah.
what's gone on for 25 years.
That's why I said
But
Frank
I'm talking
won't last
about
16 months.
the immediate accountability, when that window shuts, the immediate accountability will always be given to whoever somebody likes the least. I.e., all the Ange fans that didn't want him gone are trying their damnedest to point all the blame on Frank. He's a yes man. He said yes to this. He did this. We don't know any of this for real, by the way. We're just making it up. All the people that don't like Levy are going to go, oh, it's Levy. All the accountability to him. All the people that like Levy are going to go straight away to, this is Lang. This is Lang. And then what ends up happening is we've got a massive pie of blame. And there's enough pieces of the pie to go around. Vinay is going to take some blame. Frank, Lang, Paratici, right? Frank, they're all going to take some blame. But ultimately, what does it mean? Ultimately, we start the season and we go, right, well, this is what we've got. So what happens? The consequences are that Tottenham won't have a great season. The manager will end up getting sacked at some point, like any manager is. And this is why I never get emotionally attached to players or managers, because they all come and go. And then we go again. That is the consequence, right? The consequence is there is no consequence.
But Savva, say we don't get these attacking players in.
Yeah.
How bad is that going to affect Frank in his first season, guy? Everybody.
Massively.
Yeah. So what are we saying here? If we don't back him with at least two attacking players, where are we finishing with this team?
Bottom half.
You reckon? Yeah.
We're talking about backing him after that interview that we all watched. As soon as Gary Neville asked the question, "Are you going to back Frank?" his answer was, "Well, it's not just about the financial side of things." As soon as he said that, I won't lie, I panicked. I'm assuming you all watched that interview, right? Yeah.
It's all about
Sustainability. Yes.
Sustainability. This club is more sustainable than most others, but they choose not to spend the money. Simple as that. And they could spend more than virtually everybody else. Yeah. I read one report that on PSR they could probably spend up to about 400 million.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2. Is it 4?
Yeah.
400.
We're nowhere near. We are nowhere near it.
We've got a net spend so far of 44 million.
That's why I'm saying, boys, we've got to be a little bit positive here. Surely something big is coming. Sam, if I don't say this, okay, we're all going to go and jump off a bridge. Someone's got to say it.
It's not like jumping off a bridge. But the thing is, when you're saying, surely we've got to be positive, when people say those words, positivity comes from actions. Show me a positive action. Hang on. Show me a positive action. Not you. Tottenham. Show me a positive action. I'll give you a positive response. Isn't that the way all of life works? Show me a positive to be positive about.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and pretend, oh, let's be more positive. About what? I'm watching my team. We can't create. This team can't create. And what will happen is these teams will come to White Hart Lane and they will, I'm not saying park a bus, but they will be organised at the back and we will huff and we will puff and we won't be able to blow a house down. We're going to have many games where we're probably 0-0 or 1-1 and people will lose their mind going, there you go, Frank's a really crap attacking coach, which we know isn't true because last year, didn't they score like the 5th most goals in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Right?
So
this man, let's look at it this way, Benji, right? This man has got a worse forward line at Tottenham than the club he's just left, Brentford. Sharda, Wissa, and Mbuemo is better than our forward line, right? Sharda, this guy, hang on. This guy doesn't have a playmaker. He had Damsgaard at his last club. So when people are going, oh, his football's rubbish, he hasn't even got the pieces for the jigsaw to play his football, right?
Yeah.
Now, yes, we're going to get injuries, but we're talking about injuries should be something you talk about mid-season, not, oh, he never had the pieces to begin with. Do you know what I mean? He's not got the pieces. You give this guy Eze to play in the 10. You give this guy, a proper forward like Wissa. Suddenly, Tottenham are going to look a completely different outfit.
But he said we're in the market, Sav, and as of yet, we've
Sure.
still got plenty of time left to do something. I mean, if we don't hope, what have we got as Spurs fans, right?
I'm not saying don't hope. I'm not saying don't hope. I'm just, it's been knocked out of me, mate. It's been.
I gave up my hope. I gave up my hope years ago, and that's why I'm a realist now, and that's why it doesn't affect me anymore. Tottenham just doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me the way it should do. I don't go mad and go overboard because I know what to expect, and the evidence points it that way. Unless something drastically happens, something out of the norm, and out of the norm to me would be new ownership, investment that you're going to have, and people on the board that are footballing people that will then spend on the club. Unless something like that happens, then my expectation is that we're going to do what we do every year. The only concern I've got for this season, and I've gone and bought the tickets for the first 2 games, so I'm going to go and support the team. But the only concern that I've got now is that we are so far behind that 8 ball where we have been for years and years, but we're falling even further behind, that I don't want to be embarrassed in the league. I'm not even talking Champions League because I'm not even looking at Champions League. I just want to be competitive in the Premier League, and I don't want to be embarrassed. And my concern is, and the concern I've got for this season is that we haven't improved the team, the squad, enough for me to go and compete at a very decent level, a level that will get us in, let's say, top 8. We're not nowhere. I don't believe that we're anywhere near competing at top 8 with the team and squad we've got, and that's my concern because I don't want to be embarrassed. Because at the end of the day, all you're going to get is bantered by other fans from other clubs.
For sure, but Jose, surely, if people like us can see it, surely big things have to happen in the next couple of weeks. There is no way.
Then why wait till now then?
Because
If
you know
they
what?
can
Genuinely,
see it-
honest answer is this: it's a bargaining chip. That's how Levy operates. No one's coming for your player.
But why? It's harder to get deals done at the end of the window because clubs don't have time to replace the outgoing players.
I wish I had the answer. I do not know, but we know how he operates. So
Gary Neville's interview. Let me give you some quotes, Levy quotes.
Go on.
In it to win it. Nothing has changed regarding ambition. He does his best for the football club. He wants to consistently try to win trophies. Nothing to do with the money, all about winning the trophy. When it came to, really? Why was Jose sacked in 2021 then? It's just bullshit.
I think the quotes are coming out. The quotes
just
are coming out of a bingo hall. He's talking about winning in the bingo hall. It's not the football. In it to win it. He's playing bingo. He's marking his cards.
what was the other quote? He wants to be competitive in every competition we're in. I don't see at this current moment in time. Is that some sort of a joke? Is that a joke that I'm not getting?
No. What Levy did was he didn't lie. That's just it. Levy stood there and said, I want to be winning the Champions League and I want to be winning the league. Well, of course he does. That's not a lie. He just used a very smart word in not saying the word when he wants to do it and when he expects us to do it and how we're going to do it.
You're
So
poking the
technically,
bear,
Levy
mate.
didn't
That's the
lay
problem.
that. No,
You can't
we
say
all
the bear.
we all know that what he said is true. Of course he wants to win it. Of course he wants to do it. But like a true businessman, he went and covered his own arse at the same bloody time. He wasn't lying when he said it. Of course he wants to win the league. Of course he wants to win the Champions League. Look at the money he gets. Whether he gives a toss about cups or not, forget that bit. Look at the money that comes in. Anyone who says that he was lying there, then obviously you don't know Daniel Levy. The fact is, he did not say when we're going to do it, when he wants us to do it, and how we're going to do it. And that's how he covered his arse.
He's not even said we're going to try. I think people are taking
No.
this quote way too seriously. Any chairman, when asked, can say, yeah, I'd love to win the Champions League and the Premier League. Right? Yeah, we want to win those things. He's not said my short-term aim or my 5-year plan, or like you said, Dan, he's not, has he? He's not said in 2 years we're going to be challenged for the Champions League.
By doing
don't
that, he's
care
covered his
about-
arse.
Yeah, I don't care about that quote. That quote for me is just
No,
something
nor
that
do
people
I.
like Lupo hang on to for their because of their insane amount of hate for Levy, right? That quote is what people are hanging on to. What I care about is just the top 4 are gone. I don't expect us to compete with them, but we should be the best of the rest. We should be the best of the rest with the infrastructure, the money, and everything. We should be. We should
least
be
fight
right
for it.
now. Right, we are 30 points as of last season behind Villa and Newcastle. I think 28 points, right? 30 points.
28.
Right? And we've lost all of our goals and assists. That's a huge gap to close on Newcastle and Villa, right? Now look at what Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool have done. Like they have changed football this summer, those 4 clubs. They have gone, like they're ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous. Chelsea just can't stop buying footballers. Liverpool are just like playing around like it is Football Manager. The other one, Arsenal. Let's be fair. Everyone's going, they've been crap in pre-season. We all know Arsenal are going to be in that top 4 uncomfortably, right? We all know it. They are. They've got too many good players. And then the other one you've got is Man City. Man City are going to be in that top 4, right? So right now we should be looking going, how are we going to be in that fight for the 5th place? Because 5th this season should get Champions League again, right? Because of the coefficient points. We should be looking and going, how are we going to be the best of that next little group, which is probably Newcastle, Villa, Spurs, Man United?
I wouldn't be so sure on Manchester City, mate, being in that top 4 is a guarantee.
Oh,
seriously.
mate.
They've lost
really?
their best playmaker. I don't think the signings they've brought in have been unbelievable.
Benj, who's going to take their place?
Who's going in there above Man City?
Probably.
The only ones who could challenge that is Arsenal, maybe.
No.
No. I
don't think City are going to be the dominant forces they've been for the last few years. I really don't. Hang
on. No one said they have to be the dominant force and win it, but you're not sure they make. Listen, look how bad they were last year. Look how bad they were last year, and still finished 3rd. Still finished 3rd. They're not going to be that bad again. They're not going to be that bad
Even if
again.
they are, they're still getting top 4.
I genuinely don't think they're pegged in for top 4. I think the signings they've made this summer have been meh. They've lost Kevin De Bruyne, which was essentially, well, I don't think they've been amazing. Don't get me wrong. I think Arsenal have made better signings than they have, in truth. And like I said, they've lost De Bruyne, and everything went through for the most part.
Yeah, but De Bruyne's not been. Not last season. De Bruyne's.
If the top 4 were Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea last season, who can you see? But they were the top 4. Man City were 3rd in the top 4. So who do you see replacing?
No one.
If Man City are not going to finish in the top 4, who are replacing Man City? Who's going to finish in the top 4 with Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal? If it's not going to be Man City,
I honestly think Newcastle might have a outside shot. And again, it's just my opinion. I just don't see Man City as big of a threat as I have done in years gone by. I really don't.
Basically, you're saying you don't think they're going to walk it into that top 4 as easy.
No, I don't.
But I disagree. I don't see anyone else who's got more capability than them of getting in there along with Chelsea. I mean, for me, Chelsea are the underdogs this year. I think you've really got to watch out for them this year. But I think Liverpool are better than Man City now. Better first 11, overall squad. maybe not a better overall squad, but first 11, I think Liverpool do City. But I think City also do Arsenal, defending how their striker lands as such. And then Chelsea will take fourth place easy, if not win the league. I think you've got to really look at them as underdogs this year. And I don't see any other team out there that gets into that top four. Maybe fifth place for the Champions League. I agree with that one. There's a fight for a few clubs.
Manchester United in this conversation. I think they're going to be very dangerous.
I think they're going to be better as well, but they ain't touching City.
But with Man City, the way I look at Man City is that Man City bought most of their players last season, right? They bought a lot of their players were bought in the winter transfer window, so they did a lot of that then. So the players have already bedded into the team and bedded in when they went to the Club World Cup. They had players that bedded in then, and they've had a pre-season. If you look at someone like Liverpool have changed and put 6 new players in or whatever it is. They've got to find time to acclimatise and bed in. Good players they are, don't get me wrong, but they're not going to be the fully functioning machine as from day one. I think Arsenal as well have bought a fair few players, and I don't know whether Arsenal will be the fully functioning article in day one either. Chelsea have bought really, really well, and Chelsea have played their team. Obviously, they won the Club World Cup, and the players they bought in at the end of the season and before the Club World Cup. So them players have bedded in. And so to me, the people that get the head start for me this season should be, in theory, Man City and Chelsea get the head start on the other two because they've had more time to acclimatise.
Man City are going to be in a title race. Man City will be in a title race. Make no mistake.
They'll be up for it.
It's going to be. This is going to be the best title race for years.
Yeah, I could believe that. Because, like I said, I think Chelsea are more dangerous than people actually realise. Underdogs, dark horses, whatever you want me to bloody call them, whatever way's the right phrase. To me, they both mean the same thing, but I'm sure someone will correct me. And I honestly think, to me, they're the ones you really got to watch this year that could take that league quite shockingly. Arsenal are Arsenal. But the thing that has held them back over the years, I think, is an out-and-out striker. Will he land on his feet? Time will tell on that one. We're judging him at the end of the season. I'm pretty sure he will, but none of us know for a fact. It's out of Liverpool and City for me, and personally, I think Liverpool have got the better first 11. If they can go without necessarily having severe injuries through in the season, personally, I think they've got a better first 11 than Man City.
It's not, but this is the difference. It's not the best 11 that wins you a title, is it? It's the best squad. And this is where
also I get you,
right? I think it's going to be neck and neck between City and Liverpool. Lots of people talking about City's defense and how poor it is. I mean, they still finished third last year. Let's be fair. What was a terrible year for them is a brilliant year for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Let's face it, right? I think what people are forgetting as well is what Pep said this year. Vardiol is going to move inside to his natural position, which is a centre half.
And he's got 8
you're going to have.
Do you think they're stronger than last season? Because other teams around them
massively stronger.
Really?
Massively. They've got rid of. If you look at it, right, they're going younger, right? If you look at this, is the thing with City last year. I think everyone just puts it on Rodri, but I think it was the
major
perfect
part.
storm. What's the opposite to the perfect storm?
Unperfect storm.
You know what I mean? Basically, everything happened at once for them, right?
Yeah.
The players had all got a bit older at once and probably should have moved. And I think Pep's acknowledged that. He's already said, I should have moved someone last year, right? Rodri missing as well. Yeah. De Bruyne, loads of injuries, getting older. Stones, okay, loads of injuries, getting older. Walker, not what he was. They've moved on from that.
Silva.
Now. Right. So what they've now gone and done is they've gone and got lots of younger players, not too young, but like the likes of Rayan Cherki, right? The likes of Ait Nouri, who's an excellent left back, by the way. It's an excellent sign.
Savino and Doku came in last season, are young as well.
Exactly. And they've also got Marmoush, who was the star signing in January, which now he's had 4 or 5 months to acclimatise to the Premier League. He's going to hit the ground running. Erling Haaland will bang in goals. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Erling Haaland will bang in goals, right? I think they're massively stronger than last year. I really, really, really do.
The thing that
I really think
done
they're
them
strong.
The thing that done them last year for me was Rodri. The fact that they lost their heartbeat, their out and out centre of the spine line, I think that was what happened to him last year, and then other injuries on top of it as such. But again, call that personal opinion.
He's out again, Dan. He's not going to be playing until at least September.
And I think that'll show with the team then. Maybe they've got better players to cover that now, but I still reckon when you are missing the best player, as some say, the best player in the world at that position, no one can tell me it's not going to have an effect. No matter who you put there, it's going to be a drop down if he's the best player in the world in that position. And to me, in the midfield, I think Man City, I think that's where they looked weakest on a couple of points, because they are used to having a player that can play that game with complete domination, that can tick the time of the game, how quick it goes, how slow it goes, because he's just that bloody good. And when you're missing someone like that, it is going to have a major effect. And I think that was their biggest problem last year. I mean, the season also goes on luck of injuries, luck with injuries as well. So a team can go, if they get no major injuries to their first 11, of course you have to rotate. But if you can practically pick your first 11 for a majority of the season.
This is where we disagree. This is where we disagree. Because
I didn't say rotation ain't a big part.
Hang on. But Man City don't have a first 11. This is the difference. This is the difference with Man City and other football clubs. Arsenal have always had a first 11. Man City don't have a first 11. You have 3, 4 that always play, which for years was Diaz always played. Ederson, Diaz, Rodri, De Bruyne, Haaland. There you go. That was their spine, right? Those always played. All the others all rotated. You never knew who was going to be on the wing one day. Is Gundogan playing? Is Silva playing? Is Foden playing today? Is Marmoush playing? Like, that's what City do. But everyone...
Liverpool don't, in my opinion. They do chop and change, but not to that extent. That first season that they won the Premier League... Sure,
because they've not had the players.
That first 11... Yeah, that first 11 was literally, they had injuries in their favour that year and everything, and it was... bar a player here and there, they did play their first 11 most of the bloody season because they had the luck with the injuries and that, with a bit of rotation. But you're right in what you're saying. City have their spine line and they basically totally rotate the less. Yeah, but not every team works like that.
Many players. They've got
exactly. They can do that. Most clubs can't do that. Most clubs can't.
Also, by the way, Dejan Reinders is a top midfielder, by the way. Like, this is why I was shocked when Ben said the players they've brought in are not really a meh. I mean, Reinders,
Rodri and De Bruyne.
What?
Yeah, but you're talking about two of the best players on the
planet.
planet.
Rodri and De Bruyne. Players realistically,
or KDB was.
These players weren't even close to that level. So hang
on. But they've not lost Rodri. Rodri's still there. Rodri's, I think I saw it was going to be available mid-September. So Reinders is more midfield depth for them, right? Reinders is a quality midfielder, by the way, Ben. Reinders is quality, right? And Ait Nouri's a quality left back. I would love Ait Nouri. I've always liked him when I've watched him at Wolves. He's a very, very good footballer.
And they've got Nico Gonzalez holding while Rodri's not there.
Nico Gonzalez, another one that came in. Have a look at Rayan Cherki, by the way. You call Rayan Cherki meh for Rayan Cherki.
I've watched a lot of Rayan Cherki, mate. He's very up and down. He's got a horrendous attitude. I mean, he was laughed at for the first few games for Manchester City.
So you don't think Pep sorts that out?
Well, maybe. I'm just saying, mate. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be so cut and dry for Man City this season. I really don't. I mean, I'll be wrong.
That's your opinion.
No, see, I don't like. I don't do that game. Fair enough. If that's your opinion. I need. Sorry. I don't understand how you're looking at Man City squad and don't think they are a shoo-in for the top 4.
I get where you're coming from on that one, yeah, and I basically agree with you. But
which is mad.
It is an opinion at the end of the day, and unless you can slam down hardcore facts, an opinion is opinion. If you can't agree with the opinion, then just both walk.
Yes, Sav, we know your kryptonite.
I mean, if we want to be stupid, yeah, then that's fair, right?
Because it's not the same opinion as yours. It's stupid.
I'm sorry. Who here doesn't think Man City are shoo-ins for top 4? Really? Find me. I think they are.
No, I agree.
Hang on. Let me finish. Find me one bookmaker, one football fan who doesn't think Man City are a shoo-in for top 4, other than Ben.
I totally agree.
Cherki is not meh. Ait Nouri is not meh.
Ait Nouri's not exactly a world-class left back, though, is he? Let's be honest.
Hang on.
He's a good left back. He's not. Oh my God, is he?
Hang on, you just called him meh. You just
I never
pulled
called
all
out
this
Nor
up
even there, but yeah, Cherky, he's too up and down, and you'll see that throughout the season. I promise you this much. You'll see. I've watched a lot of him at Lyon. God, tell me I got that right.
Ben,
It
wouldn't
is
you have
Lyon.
taken him at Spurs?
I'd take anyone at Spurs right now. That is,
Slightly different levels, Dan, for God's sake, innit?
yeah,
No,
there
but
are.
you know, he's a
For
good
me-
player. We should. I don't
me-
understand
On
it.
his
I
day,
don't-
he is beautiful to watch.
Yeah,
I-
he's
I don't
very,
agree
very
with Ben. I don't agree with what you're saying, Ben. But the point I will say it is your opinion. Until it happens, no one can see otherwise. But I can't say I agree with it. Yeah, I just can't see anyone else who is better to get in that, not just City, but in that first 11. First four, who is already there. I don't see it happening. I just think the point you're trying to make, if I've understood it, is you don't think they're gonna walk it quite as easy as usual,
I'm
whereas
not
they
saying
usually
won't,
just
exactly. You know, and teams have built around. You know, the top seven have built well. They've fought well as well.
have they?
I don't think. Well, I believe they've strengthened. I just don't think it will be. I'm not saying that they won't get top four. I'm saying I do not think they will.
So your answer was Newcastle are the nearest challengers to City to go fourth, right?
Yeah.
So what have Newcastle done? If you're saying that City's signings are meh, what have Newcastle done that suddenly makes them catch up with City?
Yeah, but Newcastle. I just think Newcastle are, you know, they're a good, solid team regardless, and they've added to it.
Yeah.
Which I thought makes them even more dangerous than they were previously.
Unless they lose Isaac.
What's that? Well, yeah, that may be a different story if they do. But by the looks of things, I wouldn't imagine he's going anywhere anyway. But I just think, you know, they've built on what they've built on top of the already solid foundations, and I think they will be really dangerous this season.
You've got to remember they go to play 2 games a week this year as opposed to last year when they're playing
That's very
one.
true. That's very, very true. And I'm not, listen, before I say this, I'm not saying they're going to, but I am very, considering their front line, I'm very, very concerned with Manchester United. I think they may be some sort of dark horse as well. I know that might sound nuts to some of you, but Man United worry me this season.
I could see Man United fighting from 5th to 6th, 5th to 7th. I could agree with you there, but I just don't think. I think the advantage City definitely have is like what Savva said earlier. It's the entire squad. It's not so much of a. It's like look at Spurs and look at other teams. They bring the sub on. It's a significant drop a lot of the times, maybe bar 1 or 2 positions. Whereas with Man City, apart from taking say Rodri off or Haaland off, their goalkeeper. And maybe Diaz in defence. I don't think the drop is like most clubs from there to there. It's more like a smaller drop, if you get what I mean.
I'm just saying, lads, I don't think it will be a cakewalk. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm saying
I'll tell you what. Are you a betting man, Ben?
I could be. How deep are your pockets?
I'll have £1,000 bet with you. Man City cakewalk into the top 3.
A tenner, done.
Make it worth them a while. Make it 100.
Okay. Right.
£100.
Define your version of cakewalk.
If you ain't got it, don't do it.
No, we'll do it.
Man City will be. Here you go.
Savva's not saying top 4. Savva's saying top 3.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll go one further. Man City will be top 2.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
I think that's I think that's a fair debate there because Arsenal and Chelsea could finish above City, in my opinion. Could.
I can't see that Chelsea are anywhere
Savva, is that locked in?
Above City.
Is that locked in, chap?
Huh?
You're saying top 2 for £100 come the end of the season?
So I'm saying they'll finish in the top 2. You're saying they won't, right?
Yes.
Done.
Yeah.
For charity, right? Whoever wins to the other person's charity.
That's fair enough.
That's
cool.
Awesome.
I've got no worries about Man City this time. Listen, I saw the interview with Pep a few weeks ago, and the interviewer said to him, "You look determined, Pep," and he went, "We're going to be different this year." And I thought, got to remember, top players, top clubs don't stay down for long. And them finishing third in a shocking season, in this year. That is
5 points. 5 points between City and Newcastle last season.
5?
5 points. 71 City, 66 Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all
sure.
right. We all know Man City are going to get a 20-point head start because they'll win their 115 charges.
Yeah. Yeah, hang on. If Man City get docked 30 points.
No.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. That's a good point.
They'll win.
I'll
They'll
be
win
honest.
that case. I reckon.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I actually think City win the league. If I'm honest, I think City win it. I do. I think that Liverpool.
Are you that confident?
Yeah, I am that confident because I think Man City, they get Rodri back fit. I think Marmoush is a top footballer.
No, but
Erling
Rodri will
Haaland-
not be the same player though, Sav. We all know that.
Well, we don't all know.
We don't
that.
know that. That's
We
an
don't know
opinion.
that, right? But Erling Haaland will bang in goals. Like there are certainties in life. Erling Haaland scoring hatfuls of goals is one, right? Marmoush, Foden's going to be much better than he was last year, right? Like loads of them are going to be much better. They'll be much better at the back because Vardial will move in. They've now got Ait-Nouri who's gone to left back. They've got listen. I think they're going to win the league.
Kovacic out till October, I read today.
Yeah, I saw the other day they tried to. He was on his way to Saudi apparently, but yeah. Look. But I'll tell you what it does do, guys. When you look at those 4 clubs we've just been talking about, it shows you just how far away we are, doesn't it?
It's quite demoralising, to be honest. It really is.
You think 5-6 years ago we were regularly finishing above a lot of these top 4,
Mm-hmm.
and in that time, we've gone bub, like that, and those clubs are going. Do you know
Listen,
what I mean?
the ground was the game changer, wasn't it? They built a business and destroyed a football team.
Again, we've spent the money. We're the top 4 spenders since.
Yeah.
No difference, Ben.
How have we got
spend it
ourselves
on
into this
crap.
position?
Because
Ben,
we spend it on crap.
that's right. Ben, you look at the difference. Liverpool will spend, if they buy Gahey and Isak, they would have spent 500 million on 6 or 7 players and spent 380 million on 20.
So who's responsible for that then? Because if Levy's spending the money,
Don't get him started. Don't get Lubo started with that question.
Ben, if there's a wage cap, I don't need to join the dots for you, do I?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're in as much debt as you say, Ian, yeah, like, and out of control sort of thing, like you've basically said about Levy, that he's got us totally in debt and out of control and everything else and that, which I totally don't agree with.
No, hang on,
There's no way.
Dan, we made an operating profit the last 2 years of 282 million.
But you have also stated that when you sit there and state, well, he's not a good businessman because we're in over 800 million of debt, paying off this, paying off that, still paying off this transfer and everything else. So how's he a good businessman?
Well,
does anybody think that? I totally agree, but I didn't say anything about football. I said businessman. Yeah. Does anyone actually think? And again, it's just a devil's advocate question, nothing more, nothing less. That maybe we don't necessarily have that money to put on the wages, and it is true what a couple of people say that are not owners of Tottenham, that we are more richer on what we have, just not what we have in our back pocket.
Or assets rather than actual.
Yes, that's the phrase to look at it. It's just a question, devil's advocate.
I mean, there's no way with our revenue stream. There's no way. As it stands, Tottenham Hotspur should have zero excuse why we can't spend significant money to bolster our squad. It
was just a question.
No, and I'm with you completely. I understand it. I mean, that could be a possibility, but you wouldn't think so given the revenue, given all the different streams we've got, bringing it in, because it's not just the football that makes us money, is it? We make millions and millions of the rest of it. It's insane. So, and I think that's why Spurs fans in general are so frustrated, because we know the money is there. It has to be.
Well, it doesn't have to be, and we don't know for a fact. Yeah, that the money is there and where it goes and everything else and that. Yeah, Ben, all I'm doing is doing the devil's advocate. Yeah? Simple as
I'm
that.
with you,
Yeah?
mate. I get it.
And the fact is, we are the what is it, 8th biggest club in the world of value. No one actually. I mean, if you look at it, we're like 4 times the size of Atletico Madrid, if I remember right, and a lot of other significant teams who have done better than us, and we are worth a hell of a lot more money. But like I said, is that more in assets instead of cash? Because I think both of them are quite easy to get mixed up on. It's just a question. Like I said,
Listen, they pulled 90 million out last year for property. We can't be that short of cash, can we?
Where did we come in revenue this year in the Premier League? Was it second? Am I right in thinking that? We made the
500
second most revenue.
I don't know. The last set of figures were June 24.
Right, okay.
So come February, I think we'll see June 25s. And we had Europe, whereas we didn't have Europe the previous season. And
So the revenue
in terms of turnover from the previous year, we went from 555.44 to 528, and the operating profit went from 138 to 144 because of the extra activities, non-footballing activities, and there was even more last year, and there's going to be even more this year. And you've got Champions League football, so the probability, I think Sean reckons it was either Sean or Connor who reckon we were heading for around 650, maybe 700 million turnover for this coming June 26, 25, 26.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
How many buildings we can buy for 650 million?
Well, no, hold on,
we can
because
build
didn't Levy
hotels.
say every ounce of profit the club makes from their revenue that comes in is put directly into the team, is it not?
no.
I'm sure that's what he said.
No, I
Guys-
don't think he said anything like that.
Guys,
I'm sure
I can't
he said
remember.
He did.
He
Did.
did,
Okay.
thank you.
I'm just
He did.
saying I don't remember it. Fair enough. If he did, he did.
Guys, just quickly, I want to wrap up in 10:15, no more. But I want a quick conversation about Wednesday night. Before we do, I just want to say that this is what Thomas Frank has said tonight about Johan Lang. For anyone that's not heard,
Yeah, someone said, I've not heard what he said, but
Right.
someone said that he said something.
and this could be a little bit eye-opening here, right?
Go on, mate. Go on. What's he said?
He says, Thomas Frank on Johan Lang and the transfer window. Obviously, we are signing players here where the process is in Brentford. I'm not saying they were better, but they are very good. I think that Johan and his team is doing a top job, but just for them to understand what I'm looking for, that needs to be aligned. At Brentford, it was aligned. I want that,
Ooh.
he said. Okay, fine. So he said, I want that. And his recruitment team went, okay, fine, and knew what to get him. Right? And they said, we look at it, boom. And now I need to use more time with Johan and Rob and these guys, and then we make presentations. No. I need that instead. So all that is just extra hours every day. So at the moment, I think what I read into that, guys, is that this is teething problems or there isn't an alignment yet in terms of the profile of player that Thomas Frank wants. So
There
when
never
we're all
was.
saying,
But
hang
there
on, just
wasn't
quickly.
a lot-
So when we're all saying Frank's got to be stronger, Frank's got to say he wants this player, that player, it sounds like
he is saying
he
it.
is,
Yeah.
and that Lang and his scouting team aren't finding it. This is
Yeah.
going to end with one person getting sacked, isn't it?
Right, but this happened last year. Happened the season before. It's happened for the last 2 years with Langer being at Tottenham.
Yeah.
And this is what I keep saying. Langer is an absolute clown. And the minute that we signed him and Villa did not put him on gardening leave and said, yeah, you can have him, it gave me alarm bells straight away. The Villa supporters, when he came to us 2 years ago, they were happy. Who did they get? Did they get Monchi or someone like that? They got someone
They
else.
got Monchi.
Yeah, they got
Monchi.
Monchi in. They were
Yeah.
so happy for him to go and that they would get him Monchi because they knew that they would see their team get elevated with Monchi there because Langer did absolutely jack diddly squat for them. And like I said, normally when these kind of people leave their jobs, they get put on gardening leave. You have
What
to
did I
pay
say- what did I say an hour ago?
money.
What did I
Go on.
say an hour ago? Langer won't be here at Spurs, I don't think, in this time next month.
Yeah, but we
Don't
need him
mind.
out. Yeah, but Lubo, we need him out like
we need him out now.
We
Now,
need him out like yesterday. We need someone in there that's going to do what the job says, what it says on the tin. And Langer's
do you
not doing it. And I'm just surprised he's still here. I forget about next month. We need him out now. We need someone to take over the looking for the players and getting the players in. Lang is just not that man.
Like this,
Was that-
yeah. I want Grealish. Sorry, Thomas. I'm hearing El Canoes.
Was that? Does that? To me, that sounds like Frank having a little bit of a dig, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas what I saw of Ange until the very end, basically, was basically justifying everything we did. Like when we didn't go for an established player, when he sat there and blatantly said on TV, which he didn't have to say, was Gray and Bergville, why do we need to get any other players? They've ended up that good so far that we don't need to get any others. He actually justified most of the signings, basically. And there's justifying your player to a certain extent. Like, yeah, he's good. I've got no problem with it. But he basically justified the way it got done. Whereas to me, this sounds like Frank having the say of like, okay, I like Kudus, I like Paulinho, but I want more. And I need it now. That's how that has come across to me on what you said. So would that already say that he's not so much of a yes man?
Well,
Who's drip feeding all this stuff, guys? This happens every day. Drip feeding stuff. A bit of information here, a bit of information there. What's going to come out tomorrow?
Well, the thing is, though,
But you've quoted
point.
Savva. You've quoted what Thomas Frank has said.
Yeah, that's Thomas Frank saying that.
So this is not drip feeding. This is not an IT code putting something out there.
What I'm saying, Jose, is every day we get a little bit more information. We had something the other day, and it's like drip thread into us throughout the days.
Yeah.
Get us talking.
But Danny's absolutely spot on this one. That everyone's saying he's a yes man. He's turning around and saying, no, they're not quite getting it right. I'm not accepting what they're giving me. Right? But everyone he's saying no, they're not quite getting that right. And what he's saying is, whereas before he could, I'm paraphrasing here, whereas before he could rock up to the training ground, go and speak to his scouts, and they'll go, we've got this player, that player, that player. Yep, I like them. Yep, they play like I want. At the moment, he's saying he's having to sit down and educate hours a day to Langer and his recruitment team. And that would explain a hell of a lot of Tottenham. So anyone who's
to me, that's a dig.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's a polite way of saying,
yeah,
look, we're not. I think he said it right. We're not aligned yet. Now, whether they ever will be is a completely different conversation. But he's not accepting what's being put in front of him. For everyone who said, "Oh, he's a yes man," he literally in that statement is saying, "No, that's not what I need. I want this."
And that's why you're not buying anybody.
Well, let's see who comes in next then. Let's see who comes in next. Yeah, and see what he says about that player.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, from what you just read out to me, when someone said 0 by Wednesday and 0 by Saturday, I think they've got it spot on. We ain't getting no one in by Wednesday. Do you?
No, I reckon we get one this week. I reckon we get one this week because this is where Daniel Levy is a genius. Sorry, Lubo. I know you don't want to hear that. This is where Daniel Levy is a genius. And I'm going to tell you why. Look at Lubo's face. Like, not even a smile. Like, he's so angry that I've said that. Right. Daniel Levy's a genius because he does just the right thing at the right time to pull wool over eyes. So what will happen is everyone's in meltdown right now. The club I'm not saying they watch me. The club will be seeing the general vibe, right? They'll be seeing the Alistair Gold's coming out and saying what is going on, like in his own way. He's not a ranter, but Alistair Gold is the mouthpiece for the club in some respects. And he's coming out and saying, not good enough. All the big YouTubers are saying it. All the big influencers, everyone's annoyed. The club will know that. The club know that I'm going to talk about this in 2 seconds. The club will know that we're probably not going to get a great result against PSG. What's the best thing to do? Thursday or Friday, just before a home game? Just before the home game? Signing. Guys,
It's a very good shout.
Right, I am. Clip this. If I'm wrong, I mean, it doesn't really matter. If I'm wrong, right? Clip this. I reckon before Saturday's home game, we get an announcement, and that player will be unveiled before the game.
It'll be a 19-year-old from Coleraine in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
No, I reckon he'll take it just that little bit further and get a player, whether he's younger or whatever, that's got, like, say he goes and signs Harvey Elliott. I know a lot of people would be happy with that. I know a lot of people wouldn't. But I think what Levy is excellent at on the fan side And I think a lot of it, you've only got us to blame for it, basically, as in fans, because we've accepted it for so long and let it get to this level, that he drains you to the point that you're that desperate that you're nearly at a point where anything will do. And that is pretty much what he does. Now, obviously, if he just goes and buys some crap, whatever people are going to say it and that, but he could go out and say, buy a player of, let's say, Danzo level. I think Danzo's a good centre-back. I'd play him in a back three quite happily sort of thing. I think he's pretty solid in that. Old school style centre-back, no nonsense sort of thing. But you wouldn't look at it and say, oh, and get excited. But the way we've been drained now, if a player of, say, his capability and standard came in what other position, you'd more like sit back and say, all right, wanted better, but at least we got a bloody player.
No way to run a football
I'm
club.
going to tell you it's going to be one of these three. I'm going to tell you it's going to be one of these three, Dan. It's going to be either Elliot, McAtee, or Kanouse.
Yep.
It's going to be one of those. Right?
Would you
It
take
will be one of
McAtee,
those.
Sav? Would you
I
take
would take
McAtee?
McAtee if you get. I would take McAtee if you get a more experienced one as well. I think McAtee is going to be a blinding footballer. Right now, he's never had to be the main man. He's never, he's let's be fair, he's played a handful of games for Man City. So yes, I really like him, but I think if he comes in and we're suddenly going to go, right, go on, James, you're our creator in chief for the season. I think it's a lot to ask, but I think it's going to be Elliot, Kanouse, or McAtee. Elliot, I'm comfortable with. I think Elliot's a fantastic footballer that's waiting to explode. I think he needs to be the first team player somewhere. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of them three. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'd take Elliot out of them three because, again, even though he didn't play that many games, he still played plenty for Liverpool. And to even get on that subs bench, I don't really see a player we've got that even gets on that subs bench, bar maybe one or two.
Out of them three players, he was the one that affected his team most last year. He was more effective for Liverpool than what McAtee was for City and El Kanouse was for Leicester.
Yeah.
But a lot of people sit here and will say that he's not good enough for us.
I know he's a very good player. He was man of the tournament in the under-21 championships. He was head and shoulders above everyone in the under-21 Euro championships, and there were some good under-21 players there from other countries. So yeah, he's done.
I'd rather get a more established player, someone 25, 26, been there, done it a bit more sort of thing. Of course I would. But with what we sort of go for and everything, I could honestly see something happening like we get Elliot or McAtee, and don't be too surprised if Grealish turns up as another sub.
They're saying, but
which
they're
I
saying
would
here
not
at the
argue
moment,
with.
Someone here tonight has said in the chat that Grealish has agreed to go to Everton.
I've read other
I
things.
haven't seen anyone.
Read that he's pushing.
Someone put it in the chat earlier.
Possibly, it's more than possible, but I've read a few things that he was pushing Elliot. He was pushing Everton as a last resort sort of thing, and wanted to go Spurs because he still wanted to play Champions League.
The only
Which I
thing
think
is,
is quite believable.
Man City want someone to pay his full wages. I'm not sure how Everton would be able.
That's not going to happen.
That's
not going to happen.
300
They might
grand a
want
week.
it. They might want it, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen, does it?
Yeah, if we offer 200 grand a week and say offer 5 million up front for the season for him or whatever, and that's still going to be a hell of a lot of money that City save over the season, because I don't see no one buying for him and I don't see no one paying his style of wages. So if they want him out, they are going to have to take a knock for it. Like on the majority of our players and that, if we wanted them out, we're going to have to take, like if you want Richarlison out, like hell, are we getting 55 million for him on what we paid for him? We'll be lucky if we get 10. So I do think a Grealish is something that could happen, say, on the last day of the season, when City turn around and just say, right, go to whoever you want sort of thing. And then he's got the choice of Everton or Spurs. I reckon he'd go Spurs, even if it is only on a loan, because he'd still want Champions League because he has got the World Cup coming up.
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. All I know is that every day it's ticking down, isn't it? I remember I did a show where it was like 40 days to go. When do we panic? And everyone started saying to me, "Oh, you're so negative. There's loads of time." Well, we're now half that time. And all of the problems that we had then are now all still the problems we've got now, plus the James Maddison problem. Just really quickly, guys, just for 5 minutes, then I do want to end. PSG on Wednesday. By the way, just quickly, there's been over 1,150 people the whole show. So thank you very much. What I would say is we're only 84 away from 21,000. So it's been a rapid from 20 to 21K. We're 84 away. If any of you haven't subscribed, please do. And please subscribe to every single one of my guests. That would be much appreciated. And if one of my mods would put all of their links in, that would be massively appreciated from me. But yeah, 84. I'm not sure we're going to get there tonight, but hey, we're nearly there. And just quickly before we do that, just really quickly, Mike Marrero. Thank you very much, Mike. Really appreciate the super sticker out there. Really appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Big up to Andrew Kiddle. Andrew, you live near me. That's how I'll always remember you, because I know where you live. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much for the super sticker. I really appreciate you, buddy. Big up to, I think this is Mr. Pox Office, who's changed his name to @Lubo her up, and just said Lubo her down. So thank you very much. I don't know what to say about that. Thank you very much. And Queen Ellie, big up Ellie. Thank you very much. Very generous again. And said, Levy also said, it's not we've just done, it's what we haven't done. Well, if he feels we haven't achieved more, why don't he do more to help us achieve more? Yeah. And listen, Ellie, I think we can all agree that if the window ends and it's a shocker, there are going to be many videos that are put together with statements he said this summer alone, knocking him. There's going to be a lot of disdain. So we'll see. But big up, Eddie. Really appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. And Andy Lester's just come in. Big up, Andy. Thank you for joining the members only show the other day, mate. Sorry that my internet died, but thank you very much, Andy. Really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much. Guys, just really quickly, I don't want to spend ages on this because I do want to go to bed. Yeah, well, listen, I just being honest. Just being honest, just get tired. I'm getting old, Jose. PSG, I mean, realistically, I'm going to say something that people are going to hate. Is anyone expecting anything other than a convincing PSG win? I'm just putting it out there.
Can I? No. I'm going to say when we played Arsenal, I was getting my flight back when we kicked off against Arsenal. When I got to Gatwick, I switched my phone on and I was surprised it was a 0-1 that we'd won, because everything before the game was, we're going to get pumped 3 or 4-0 and then the fan base is going to blow up. And when I got off the plane, we'd won 1-0. I didn't see the game. I just saw the score. So I'm kind of hoping that I can switch my phone off on Wednesday and switch it back on again and see that we've won 1-0. But no, the eggs are all in one basket at the moment, and PSG are the best team in Europe, hands down. Best team in Europe. And I think even with the coaching with Thomas Frank, the players that we've got at the moment, unless they put in a Herculean effort, I can only see one-way traffic, I'm afraid, on Wednesday night.
Give me a round that off with, if you had to predict, you can use your heart or your head, I don't care, but realistically, what's the score going to be?
3-0 PSG.
Okay. Danny, what do we make of it? Can Spurs? I know in football anything can happen, but can you see a way in which we lay a glove on them with these forwards?
On that day, anything is possible. We know that, and that's how you can also win a cup. Basically, you get to that final and even win it, and you've played shit all the way through it. You can do that. It's just the league what shows your real capability, in my opinion. But I just don't see how in any means or manner we have got anything on City. And even if we play our very best, get the formations right, do everything, we will just get beaten by the better team, like we did with Munich. I don't think we was that terrible against Munich. I mainly think the better team won, simple as that. But I just don't see what we've got on PSG to even score a goal, basically. So I could say 4-0, and do you know what? If we only lose 3-0 or something, I'll be quite accepting of it, if I'm totally honest. Because if you want to be realistic, we could go and get that smashed 8-0.
Yeah. So what was the score? What was the final score you're giving me?
4-0. 3-0. 3-0. I'm going to go with 3-0. Yeah.
Danalist, same questions to you. Tottenham PSG. It's a tough game, isn't it? It's a tough one.
Yeah, very tough game. Backs to the wall sort of thing. You know, we'll be defending for our lives, hoping for a breakaway goal. Yeah, I can't see anything other than a PSG win, but you know, we'll back the team, get behind them, and pray.
Hopium.
Superb.
Don't do this. And Sav, first warning. No fake news, please. No fake news. Sorry, Dan, what was the score you went with?
Probably something like 3-0, I would have thought, to PSG. Yeah,
I like
this
this.
tough game.
So far, not a single goal to Tottenham. We've seen
Yeah,
it.
'cause and their defense is bloody solid as well. That's the thing. They are good.
Oh, they're a top team. When people call us the champions of Europe, these are the champions of Europe. This is the champions of Europe. Ben, we've had a 4-0, sorry, a 3-0, a 4-0, and a 3-0. I think Dan went with 3-4-3.
Yeah. Mine's short and sweet, mate. Anything under 4-0, I'm over the moon. As long as we don't get embarrassed any worse than the Champions League final, I'm happy.
I mean, what they did to Inter Milan was absolutely. I haven't seen
You
Inter
know
Milan
what?
get
The
torn
only
apart
hope
like that.
we've got is that they're not up for the game. They're not over.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that play this cup aren't usually that interested. That is the only hope.
But if they play with half their capability, they are still
Of course.
double the team we are, as far as I'm concerned.
Listen, again, I'll say it one more time. Anything less than 4-0 will be an absolute touch. That's our little hope.
I agree. You're right. I agree.
Lubo?
Come on, Lubo. Get one for the team, mate. Give us a win.
I think I've got a very long evening ahead of me on Wednesday night.
Oh, you're going, aren't you?
I'm going, yeah.
Rather you than me.
Lucky bastard. Where is it? Where's it been played?
Udinese.
Udinese.
5-1 PSG.
5-1?
Well, at least you're saying we get a goal.
Come on, you Spurs.
There'll be a free kick. Johnston will put it in. Porro will hit a free kick. There'll be one situation we'll get a chance. PSG are playing us 8-9 days after starting pre-season training, which is a good start. If we'd have been playing them, can you imagine if we'd have played them like a couple of weeks after they won the Champions League final? It would have been something like 8-1.
The way they took Inter Milan apart was absolutely shocking. I have never seen Inter Milan get taken apart like that. I've seen them get heavy defeats and that, like every other club, but the way PSG actually just tore them a new one, when they are actually one of the best defenses on the planet, usually organised at the back more than anybody,
and
it was scary.
One of the best performances we've seen probably since Pep's tiki-taka team of Barcelona. 14 years.
I think the best performance I've seen in a long time was Inter Milan, and that was against Barcelona. I thought that game, that was why I used to love football so much, because football these days is, as far as I'm concerned, it isn't a shadow of what it was 20 years ago. It's Tyler players and that. I thought the way Inter came back from that bloody game and done Barcelona was brilliant.
For entertainment, but in terms of an individual performance where one team ripped another team apart, I think that probably...
I'll go with that one. But for me, ripping a team apart 4-5-0 is one thing, yeah? When you're already up 3-0 and everything, it goes... You're already going with the flow. I totally agree with you there, yeah? But for me, it takes more of what Inter did to Barcelona than PSG did to Inter as such. And what I mean by that is, you can look on it both sides. If you go by just totally dismantling the team and screwing them, yeah, PSG, what they did to Inter. But the way Inter managed to come back from that after being ahead and then going down to Barca and then actually managing to scrape it back like they did, I think that's one of the best performances I've seen in a very long time. But I get what you're saying. Two total different types of performance as such.
The two games, Dan, were wonderful games, weren't they? What an advert for football. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can say Barcelona were a better team and whatever else, but the way Inter came back from it, that you got to give them credit where it's due. I mean, that has got to be one of the best games I've actually watched in years.
Which one? I'm talking about both. I thought both of them were fabulous.
The second one. I mean, I watched it with you, Savva, didn't I? The second one. You and someone else was on here. I can't remember who else it was. And it was a brilliant... It was why you fell in love with football, a game like that. It was just an excellent game in every way. Yeah, Barcelona were the better team, but the way Inter managed to scrape it back through that, excellent. But PSG absolutely tore them a new one. So I ain't looking forward to PSG. Not at all.
Yeah, guys, listen, sorry about that. Did you hear any noise coming from my mic?
No.
Okay, sorry. The two dogs just proper went at each other. Like, you know, when it goes past the playing bit to...
Yeah.
And,
Lubo, what was your score then?
Yeah, my score...
Lubo, what was your score in the end?
Oh, Lubo.
5-1.
To Tottenham.
Oh.
Good man.
Go on, Sav, what's your score, mate?
Yeah, I think... I want to sit here and be positive. I do. I just can't see where the goals.
Go on, mate. Force yourself to be positive.
No,
then say we only lose 2-0 then. Say we only lose 2-0.
I genuinely cannot see how we create with people like Brennan Johnson, Odegaard, Tell, Richarlison, Papasar or Bergvall as the 10. None of these players, I keep hearing none of these players are creative footballers. None of them. There's nothing from midfield to link to up front.
Can you imagine Tell or Johnson against Hakimi? I mean,
mate, this is the problem. This is what I said last year. Winning the Europa League really did paper over every crack at the football club. Because when people are going, we're champions of Europe, what you're seeing is the other night when we played a team like Bayern Munich, who will be one of the favourites for the Champions League like they are every year, right? You saw the levels. We can all have a go at the manager. We saw the levels. That was
the better team won.
And PSG are that, but a bit better, right? PSG are a well-oiled, well-drilled team. They've got one of the best managers in the world. They've got people like Doué and Dembele and Kvaratskhelia that are just sublime footballers. Then the passing ability of like Ruiz and Vitinha in midfield. It's then I can't see unless they completely switch off, unless they completely don't go for it. I don't see how we score goals. I'll go with 2-0 to PSG. I just hope that I just hope that I want to be wrong.
Positive. How sad is that?
I want to be wrong. I'd love that we scam a 1-0 win, or I don't see goals. Don't see any goals in this football team at all.
If we lose 2-0, you'll be telling me how fantastic Romero's played, and I hope he does.
I'm switching my phone off.
The thing is,
we need a Romero masterclass on Wednesday night.
Yeah,
and he will deliver because that's what he does. World class Romero.
Well,
man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think with someone like Romero, it's difficult, right? Games like that, we're going to be under the cosh, and the problem is when Spurs are under the cosh for a long time, it's just whether or not Romero stays switched on up there for me. Sure. We saw it against Bayern Munich the other day. I thought he did some brilliant things and also some absolutely reckless Romero things.
Could have been sent off.
And yeah, he could have very easily been sent off. So listen, I think it will be 2-0 to PSG. But scary. I think we're about to see again just how far away from being a top team we are. But listen, guys, I am going to leave it there. Thank you very much to everybody who's watched. Thank you everyone on the panel. Please get over to the Danalist and subscribe to his channel. Please go and follow Benji on TotDoc on X. Lubo, you can find him on X at Lubo_61. And of course, for the Spurs 5, which is tomorrow night at 8 p.m, every Monday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Please go and follow Jose at El Del Cocorel as well. And please follow Danny at the Hotspur Hood. And if you wouldn't mind, please do subscribe to me as well as we keep going forward. Yeah, Ellie, that's as positive as I can get, I'm afraid. He does. Listen, if you want to know what I really think is going to happen on Wednesday night, 2-0, I think would almost be like a win, wouldn't it?
It's knowing what can happen is the scary thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just before Savva signs off, see if you can get him another 17 likes to get to 800, please. 17 if you just hit the like button, and if you do, we'll get past 800 for Savva and for the show.
Thank you very much. Listen, thank you guys. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Listen. Hopefully soon I can do a show where I turn on my computer and you see this. because we've signed somebody, and at the moment, they're not giving us a lot to work with. For a content creator, it's hard work. Let me tell you that. It's hard work. Spurs don't give us a lot. Take care, everyone. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.